что там кого-то убивает и так далее. Ну, зачастую.
Переведено и озвучено студией Кубик в Кубе специально для Кинопоиска.
А на что он купил тачки? Так ему Санек даже за эти, блядь, сюжеты. Ты чё, блядь, там такая съемка охуенная в упор. 100% пиздец, как заплатили. Да, поебался он в итоге, еще тогда она согласилась. Ну да, танцы на костях. Почему я одобряю такой способ подняться? Я наоборот не такой чел как раз. И просто объяснил вам, в чем мораль. Не, а я говорил про бабки за инфу. Не за сюжет, а за инфу копом. Типа, что он преступник. Ну, награда. Мораль фильма: торгуй минет, танцуй, снова торгуй минет. Бля, это очень неплохо звучит. Бля, 20 минут у нас с вами еще есть. Бля, пиздец, вот троглодиты насели на меня. Я так сдохну, так стримить, блядь. Что в таком фильме хэппи энд? Ну, относительно, да. Что он, типа, безнаказанным вышел. Ну, типа... Я думал, что это кармическое будет, типа, его за часы сейчас ёб... Ну, не ёбнут, а... Притянутого. А мы заснимем? Ну да, вебка вон уже включена. Бля, ну как вам? Кто кинчик? Кто? Вот плюс чат, если смотрели кинчик первый раз. Вообще пиздато, мне понравился. Ну и Джилленхол подходит на эту роль. Да? Он прям вот, прям... Пучеглазый еще, прям, пиздец как подходит. Вот бывают актеры пиздатые сами по себе, да, они вживаются в образ. Но вот даже чисто внешне он пиздец как подходит. Вот даже вот просто не мимику, ничего не брать его игру, она тоже пиздатая. Вот именно чисто внешне он подходит. Вот типаж вот подходит пиздец как. Да, мне тоже понравилось. Спасибо, кто посоветовал. Смотрю второй раз, кайфу. Вау. Если что-то с ним случилось, что... Ну, бля, это как мораль тогда была. А зачастую в жизни происходит так, что... Ха! Нихуя себе не случилось, поэтому... Кто заскрыл ту рекламу? А, вы планы? М. Хм. Понял. Ладно, сейчас приду, ребятки.
We're back once again in the tech capital of the world, Tokyo, Japan, the home of Red Bull Homeground 2023. Yesterday, 8 top Valorant teams from around the world battled it out. But before we get back to seeing how the remaining 6 get on, let me take you on a whistle-stop tour of Tokyo, Japan. Sick. Much better. First stop, Akihabara. This area is considered to be the electric heart of Tokyo. It is where technology meets passion. From electric to reflective, this is Asakusa and the revered Sensoji Temple. Skytree is a true reflection of Tokyo's towering aspirations. Now that's what I call a spike. And now for some island hopping. This is a diver, stacked with avant-garde architecture, which gives it a futuristic vibe and offers a glimpse into Tokyo's tomorrow. It's time to take you to our final destination and the venue for Red Bull Homeground 2023. The Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena.
The fusion of history, technology, and competition. All roads led us here.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome to Red Bull Homeground 2023. The pinnacle of spirit, strategy, skill is about to unfold.
Да, на Зету. А ты тут, Киря? Это что я удивил, он распит уже.
It's the city where the bold merges with tradition, where old meets new to constantly evolve its forever changing, magnificent landscape. Tokyo, Japan is our host for Red Bull Homeground 2023. But where did it all begin? It's been a crazy ride for Red Bull Homeground. We started off online for our very first ever event. As you can see, we then moved into the Red Bull Gaming Sphere, and then big moves. Our first Homeground LAN finals in Manchester, where all of our teams played together, of course, in front of a live crowd. And now that brings us here. And this event is a prime example of the modernity meeting tradition in Japan as Valorant takes over this historic Sungo arena, the Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena.
Бля, кстати, давайте я прям сейчас сделаю, а то я потом опять просто забуду.
And I am expecting a sold-out crowd of hungry Japanese fans to fill it
Сейчас,
out
секундочку,
as we
ребят.
roll on this weekend. My name's Ian Chambers and I am joined on our desk by Tom and Mitch. I just highlighted it there, but it has been a crazy ride when it comes to Homeground.
Я ему просто мужику кинул 500 рублей, а то он выиграл в конкурсе. Уже, блядь, сколько недель назад.
You know what? The queues for the British pub here are ginormous.
Yeah, Mitch was right at the front.
And he was right at the front.
That is not accurate. No, I had a nice Japanese coffee place for breakfast.
Yeah.
Steered clear of the British pub. Maybe I won't try it. I'll be honest.
Кентиков, норм?
Too many
It would be a
good
real
options
shame
here.
if somebody made him try it.
Yeah, it would, but that's not going to happen. So
I'm going to make
good.
it happen.
Oh, are you?
All right, let's just take a look back. First things first, I want to thank Aegon by AOC for supporting this event, which started off yesterday. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights of how it all went down. It had a bit of everything, really. Sadly, 2 home favourites that the crowd were absolutely in love with dropped out, and big teams lived up to expectations, Tom.
Yeah, like well, you say they sort of dropped out, but I think even just the expectations on the likes
Да
of
мне пох.
Benno, for example,
Что на них
were
просто
very, very
чувствую.
low, but they managed to go the distance with Fnatic, which I think definitely outdid expectations. Zeta came in as that hometown hero, winning the first game off the bat, securing themselves a position today, and basically getting everybody hyped up within the arena. And while the real shining light is that dark horse of Foot. They were unreal yesterday.
Yeah, Yeah, and the vibes between the teams. Everybody here, including the fans, of course, are having an amazing time, Mitch. But this is where, yeah, absolutely,
Having a great time.
But this is where it comes to crunch time, right? It's going to get a little bit more serious, I think, going into the actual 6 bracket.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Look, this is where we start moving from those BO1s where anything can happen, where you can upset a team, to somewhere where we have BO3s. You'll have favorite maps. You might have more dominant openings to series, depending on whose map pick it is. And I'm super excited to see how this one unfolds, because this is the real test now as we move into the deeper series.
Tom, you're not used to this yet, are you? You're not just become accustomed to this amazing arena and the fans behind us.
I'm still enjoying my walk to the arena, let alone the arena. It's such a beautiful city just to like spend any amount of time exploring. The food's fantastic. This arena in itself, like, it really is already packing out. I've heard there's going to be like maybe 1,000 more people than yesterday, which I don't know. I think we're going to need more people crossing their legs, no more lounging over on the cushions. That none going to be allowed, and especially with the early morning game involving Zeta Division, I think we're going to be packed from early doors.
Yeah, they're going to love it. Here is our bracket. The Swiss format is, of course, done. We now move into best of 3 territory, a cutthroat single elimination bracket to decide our finalists who will compete in the best of 5 grand final for our trophy. Who is going to fill these boxes up as we roll on? And you've got 2 really strong teams waiting in the semi-finals, Mitch.
Yeah, you know, I have a bone to pick with you, Ian, because you told me that Fnatic got to choose.
No, Tom told you that.
Well, no, I think we specifically asked you, and you said with confidence, with your whole chest, that it was Fnatic, and yet Foot.
So Fnatic chose to play 2 games in one day. That seems like a really odd choice.
Doesn't it?
Why would they do that?
Go ahead, Ian.
What are the chances of you 2 putting me on blast live on a broadcast? In
0. We would never do that.
What's the name of the arena again?
The Ryogoku Koguki-kan Arena here in Tokyo.
He's worried.
An hour
I see the panic in his eyes there.
All right, I gotta get it right this time.
Let's take a look at our top 5 players. This is all based on ACS from yesterday, Tom. Some big names popping off. Who stands out?
Well, I would say when we looked at this the first time yesterday, I expected Althea to eventually be in there. He is now second on that board. Yedaje had an incredible performance, and Yoshi, the fact that he's out of the tournament and is still making that list, maybe someone that's going to be picked up, or maybe someone Scars will try and lock in, but number 1 has to take the biscuit. Oxy in that second game was a force to be reckoned with. He ended with 420 ACS in game number 2 after a close first matchup versus Zeta. He has been an absolute standout, and for one of the younger players within this tournament, there's a lot of young players, but he's definitely, I think, at 18 years of age, he really impressed and was absolutely styling in their second match.
And I have to say, you know, looking at this board, the stats are beautiful, almost as beautiful as Alpha's locks, man. I am jealous. I can only imagine how Tom feels. The guy's just putting the game out there week after week, month after month. It gets better.
He might actually lend me some.
He might share, you think? When he gets a haircut, we'll get a wig made out of it for him.
I want a moustache more so, like Stevie's. I want to build.
Oh yeah,
nobody wants that.
You could grow that out yourself, brother.
Let's take a look at the schedule. I was just about to talk about Mitch's luscious locks, but we'll do that later. Let's take a look at the schedule of play for today, which of course is why you are joining us. We've got some amazing best of 3s, and we are kicking off with the one that Zeta fans here in the building want to start with, Cloud9 versus Zeta, and that is a rematch from yesterday. How we kick things off. Will we get a similar result? We've got some more to come as well, Tom.
Yeah, and of course the thing is, this first game, it's actually kind of brutal because whoever's going to win it is also going to have to play that third game. So they have to reset, get themselves ready for playing Foot, who, how do you get ready for that team? They were so good on so many levels yesterday that I don't know exactly how you prepare. It's going to be very, very difficult. And I think either way, if this first game goes the distance, that's just going to give more tape for Foot, and especially guys to just sit there and go like, aha, I am picking them apart.
Hold that thought. Let's meet. We've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes content with our players, getting to know them better, and we'll start now with Cloud9.
Should the team always have a due list?
Francis is on the team. I'm down, yeah. In this meta with this team, I think yes. Right?
Бля, Токсик чел нормально играет, кстати.
If you had to pick a map to play for the rest of your Valorant career, which one would it be?
Icebox. 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 I'm down for Icebox. Or no, Breeze.
Jake, how do you not like Icebox? I guess you play Controller.
I think I'd play Haven. I love Haven. Oh, I love that no, Haven.
Who's most likely to clutch a 1v5 scenario?
I'd say Eric. Yep. I'll take
I'll give it to Eric.
Yes! I'd say Eric. I've seen Eric win more 1v4s than Jake.
Which player is the biggest joker off screen?
Joker? I think we're all pretty stupid.
We're all but there's one big clown over here.
Nah, I feel like
one
we're
big
all...
jester.
It's either him or all of us. There's
one of the S's. Yeah. No, we're all jesters. We're all clowns, but this guy's the biggest.
Actually, yeah, you are the king of the clown.
There were a lot of question marks over their heads after that initial defeat yesterday, but they put together a much more dominant performance against Fennel with a 13-2 much stronger end to the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we saw Fennel playing up against them, after the 10 rounds against Fnatic, we did start to get worried, but the fact that C9 were able to bounce back that quickly and look that good, maybe it does also speak to the fact that Fennel obviously had to, having lost that game, play back-to-back matches. BO1's same map as well, so C9 got to look at a lot of tape coming into their matchup today. Let's hope they've had that same level of prep.
Cloud9 fans in the building here as well, which is nice to see.
It's funny as well, because I don't think they were on the camera in the main screen, so they had no idea that they're just chilling, relaxing, taking their photos, having a good time.
Yeah, let's take a look at this Zeta roster. Massively lovable for a lot of reasons. It's kind of impossible not to adore them. The crowd does, that's for sure, to the point where they have to actually limit queues for fan meet and greets here at the arena. They didn't end the day strongly yesterday, Tom, but they did give the home fans a perfect start.
Oh yeah, the fact that they did it in a style as well that was like just ridiculous. It was those pistol wins that just came out of absolutely nowhere. Heroron, like one of the players making his debut for this roster, looked utterly incredible. But the fact is, it was like these young stars that really shone. Like we know that Laz is going to be good. We know that Sugar Zero is going to have that depth. But honestly, this guy, I think the fact he's 18 years old and just making such a statement, it is a great sign for them.
All right, it's time now to start to bring our teams out. We got Cloud9 versus Zeta. Can these young gunners become legends on this stage in this iconic arena? Let's bring them out one more time.
Бля, мне не дают на 2-0 поставить, я тоже хочу 2-0 поставить. Ну, сука. 最初の2チームをステージにお呼びしましょう。Что за аниме озвучка? Проходи, проходи. Вот, проходи. Сейчас я песика накрою одеялом. Положить.
It's high drama, isn't it? Center stage here as we enter best of 3 territory. You can see it in the eyes of each individual player that they are completely aware of the fact that if they lose here, they will not grace that stage again, Tom.
It's really interesting seeing Carlisle, their new coach, the Brazilian, trying to give an inspirational speech, and he starts talking and then looks to the translator and just hopes he gives the same level of heart. Like, it's going to be so difficult.
How do you match that passion?
You're like saying something, and the translator's like, yeah, he said, like, you can do it, guys. I really believe you.
got it.
This is why I'm not a translator. I don't think I'd have the same oomph of what they need to really sort of hype up the youngsters, because that's the thing. Again, they're coming out on this stage.
Yep.
It's the second time they've been here, this time a best of 3. I think even though they managed to take the map off of C9, C9 are still favorites here in my eyes.
Sure.
Like, they, in the majority of gun rounds, look like the better team, and Zeta kind of got slammed yesterday. Also, it's no longer a best of 1. 3 maps will be coming in, and we haven't seen much of Zeta's map pool.
And let's not forget that initial best of 1 that these guys had was a back and forth affair. But now, as you can see, we're getting into map picks and bans, and you can talk us through it, Mitchy baby.
Well, we've seen Haven from Zeta. I'm imagining that they're going to want to play there again, but maybe all the way down on the decider. It was a super close game from them. Lotus looked like there could be some potential there to build on. I'm not sure if they're going to want to lock it in. And it's
Lost
going for
11 rounds in a row. I don't know if they want to go anywhere near that.
Yeah, but you learn the most from those kind of defeats.
I think Ascent for C9 makes a lot of sense. They've played it a couple of times with Curry, or once with Curry and once with Whippy. They won 13-2 both times. They've looked really strong on that map. Bind coming in as a pick for Zeta. It's only been played once for C9. But they're going to take... I don't mind that. They won off pistol round, like, ridiculousness. They didn't win off those gun rounds. If they lose a pistol in that map, they've lost the game. So I don't mind them taking it to Lotus. They probably learned a lot as well from the defeat to Fnatic yesterday, but they need to fix a lot of different things if they're going to be able to take this one over the line.
100%. When we saw Haven yesterday, it wasn't just the pistol rounds, it was the thrifty rounds as well. We saw so many Sheriff plays that got them across the line, and it's such a tight series. Map, even as it was, you can't rely on repeating that this time around. So I do think Lotus is the right call for them, considering, like I say, that's where you learn the most from those kind of dominant defeats. Rush B, the strats are getting pulled out.
The strats.
I'm not buying it.
He's holding that up and then whispering down the mic, go away.
Yeah. we did actually say about Zeta yesterday that they did, despite their youth and inexperience, they did show levels of maturity at times.
Yes.
But there is a different level of maturity when you need to show that stamina in a best-of-3 situation, Tom.
Oh, for sure. Like, as said, like, they managed to, like, have some pretty decent flanks and calm within the storm in clutch rounds. But ultimately, when it comes to full-on executions, I think you have to give that over to C9. And unless you are watching with sheer tinted glasses, which some of us are, but it would definitely look like they were winning a lot of rounds that they shouldn't win. So to recreate that is going to be difficult. I also think going into an attack side Ascent to start is very, very difficult. It's a map where things can go wrong very, very quickly. And because it's a map we've seen for so long, the agents, as you can see, are always pretty much the same. You run out of ideas very quickly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Uran as well. I feel like his patience yesterday was on display. Some of the flank plays were off the charts. He never really got caught out looking for aggressive stances. And whenever he went for them, there was success to be found. So I feel like he's a player who's a super good read on the game. Whether that's down to the IGL of Zeta or him himself, the discipline was off the charts across this lineup. And when we saw them win that map on Haven, it was individual performances, not from one, not from two, but from every single player. We need to see more of that today if they're going to have a chance of taking it in a BO3.
Yeah, I mean, are having the time of their lives here in front of their home fans, but it's not just these guys. Cloud9 loving it too. I saw Vanity on Twitter just sharing photos with fans saying he can't put into words how incredible the atmosphere is here. So this team are of course going to want to keep the dream alive too. But now our first quarter-final of Red Bull Homeground 2023 is here. It's C9 versus Zeta. Let's get into map 1 with Tom and Mitch.
I've already got a bit of combat down on mid. K.2 gonna be the first to fall.
Так, 2-0, если любите маму.
That rush B strategy might have been a bit of a fake. Sold out to the crowd. Zeppa trying to catch a couple players crossing over on the door. He'll get absolutely nothing. As Zeta try to get the plant down and succeed, but they've lost a lot of players. Zeppa on the
А что он Killjoy делает? Куда он съебал? Куда он бежит, блядь? Ой, не, блядь. А зачем он их продал? Короче, я объясню. Можно обходить, когда ретейк долгий идет. А тут чилый фаст ретейк, сразу дверь начали хуярить. Зачем он ушел? Помог бы с мейна. Начинается, блядь. Куда я поставил? Так я не пойму, а почему они в атаке начали, придурки ебаные, блядь? Чё, блядь, зеленого чая перепили? Что это хуйня? Зачем они в атаке начали? Скажите мне. Да, за кто начинают часто. Ну, ты говоришь, биг лудов. Ну хуя за это начали в атаке. Я это и спрашиваю, блядь. Вау. Вау.
See what they can do this time around. Already losing out on Kaida. Nice nade, shock dart as well. No way out for Vanity, but Curry, a very impressive stand-in.
Бля, вот кажется, хуйня иногда пикселит.
And here he's quick to grab the trade, keeping the numbers in C9's favor.
So a lot of comments about Curry entering the Radiant lobbies and having mass success. Like, he definitely did well on an individual level. And again, even if you look at the game they lost, I don't think any critique can really be placed onto him. He had a great game.
Чего, блядь? Это ты в какой вселенной придумал, нахуй? Одни берут карту, другие сторону. Тоже качество хуйня. Но это макс качество, вот смотрите.
Minimal losses, economy's going to start to build up. This is where the crowd will hope to see them take it across the line. The full investment, the rifles, and already some good ideas on display. Good adaptations.
Ну вы зайдите на трансу сами, у вас такое же будет на Редбуловске?
A little overzealous on the wide swing, but these things happen. If you have one extra smoke there down in spawn, which you would on a full buy round, it's a different game altogether.
Блядь, зачем ты это пишешь опять слово?
Won't be pulling any punches, and C9, you know, they still have some weaknesses, but two Guardians alongside a Vandal, it's fair to say they can take some pretty favorable fights, or at least fights on equal footing.
В следующий раз не буду разбанивать.
Definitely going to see Oxy, and an escape plan needs to be made. It almost seems like they might look to pressure through, push up through mid, but Kaya managed to do some has to try and escape out of there. In fact, he's going to get the kill through the smoke as well, leaving them with a huge advantage already in this one. Vanity, bear in mind, only as a judge.
Oh, he's low. He's oh no.
Okay, lads.
Never mind.
Wow.
Wall bang at a last to save the day. Hey, you could have all 5 players coming out of this round alive for Zeta, and in fact, it's looking likely. Curry just gonna play the.
Короче, я поставил 3000 на коэффициент 8.
If it was C9 or one of the other teams, it actually might have been one of the Japanese teams. They asked, "What's the best thing to do in a 1v5?" And they said, get exits.
И 8000 просто на победу.
That is the correct answer. There's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do, and especially with that rifle in hand and credits spent to make that happen.
3000 я поставил, бро. Давай так, 3023, так будет понятно? 323, так будет понятно? 371, надо я слова ты написал, который не надо писать. Я понимаю, что это риск, но как будто оправданный. Нет такого чувства, что оправданный риск. Бля, они уже один раз тем более выебали, блядь. В первый раз это было в новинку. А второй раз как будто уже, ну, не так страшно, блядь. Ну, вообще, балансная карта, но чуть-чуть КТС.
Like it was you got an SMG facing off against a rifle at range. You don't really expect that player to win.
No,
бля, если все зайдет, это вообще будет класс.
And they've invested light shields across the board, allowing these rifles full utility to come into play. Vanity, the typical Odin play inside of B main, but Zeta, they know how he likes to play. They're not going near it at the start of the round. Instead, looking for control over mid, taking some of those longer range fights where they've had a lot of success in the previous series. And you can see over on A, already a sneaky spot from Jake, down inside Wine. He could have a big role to play denying this push. In fact, he's been spotted, and now probably wants to get out of there. He's staying to try and take a fight. Bit of a team flash going through it. I think C9 maybe lost in the sauce a small bit for just a moment, but luckily the pressure isn't really being applied by Zeta. They're waiting for Laz to complete that.
Блять, что с качеством? Пацаны, зайдите на трансу сами. Red Bull, ну у вас, наверное, так же будет. Как будто как-то, блядь, резко проседает. Как будто они как будто битрейт не выставили. Как будто битрейт не выставили. Ну, как будто они битрейт не выставили, поэтому так пикселит. Просто смотрю, где фанаты Клоудов? А где фанаты Клоудов? Бля, у меня просто с квартиры вокзал не видно. Уехали, походу. Тише, тише, тише. Дайте пока порадоваться. Тише. Я за это много заплатил, чтобы радоваться. Мне похуй, буду радоваться каждому раунду. Я за это много заплатил. Не дай бог, он двух убил.
Expect him to go blitzing through after. I don't mind it. Yeah, no, it was probably the right play. Try to isolate the planter. If that second player isn't in position to trade, he could have the round, or at least a much better shot at it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the initial steps being wrapping through tree, you almost expect that the other player might still be on heaven. Absolutely. And actually can't trade that. So, yeah, really don't
Накопли за нами, блядь, ебать.
You can't really expect too much. But 2-2. Good signs from Zeta, because I do think that, again, after...
Бля, я вам так еще, хотите объясню по-другому? Во-первых, они их разок уже выебали. Я понимаю, что это best of 1, первый матч на турнире, вся хуйня. А раз. Во-вторых, как для меня, типа, матч 50 на 50, но Зета даже больше фаворита для меня. Ну, Клуда мог заиграть, но коэффициенты вообще дикие же.
The fact that it's happened and we're only going into round 5 and they've only lost a couple of rounds, it shows that clearly there's some warning signs already there for Amy.
4-4 просто победа. Че, не спишь, Лодикс? Стримлю матчи для вас. Иришка. Блять, Иришка. Нахуя вы все такие ники ставите головы? А это я, Алена. Пока что как овердрайв получается.
Rosters mass changing, like it's a completely different outlook, but that's the thing. I think when you, especially with them having 3 young players, 1 in Hero Run coming over from their opponents of Fennel, and then 2 youth players and a 3rd also being as a potential swap in, that's something that could happen throughout this series. We've already seen that once. Yatsuka, who came in and played the Raze in that other matchup, I will say things quite as well, so maybe in this sort of
Я сначала спрошу у менеджера, как бы с моей стороны, ну, как бы, кто стоит между нами и Риотами, вот так. Я могу напрямую хоть разрабом, блядь, в Дискорде это кинуть. Ну, блядь, лучше тактично начать. Ну, как бы, кто у Риотов, зару сегмент. Чат, я напишу девчонки. Как в такой ситуации быть, если я понимаю, что матч хуй, ну, типа, трешный. Если я понимаю, что я миллионер, нахуй. Напомню, это пик Клоудов ебаных. Да, да, хуй банкс, блядь.
It's a tough one. And you know his backup weapon here, or his primary, I suppose, in some way, is a stinger.
Это Люк, успокойся, бля, это первая половина, Люк, успокойся. Блядь, ну это первая карта, Люк, успокойся. Ну бля, они в аэропорт едут, успокойся, все, отстань от нас, блядь, забери свои деньги.
It's like all in aggression. Like I'm dashing into the site, I'm probably gonna hit my first shot, but then if I survive past that, I'm still pushing. Like there's nothing you can stop me in terms of just how aggressive I'm going to be. And that's the thing. That is, a lot of the time, it's either amazing or awful. Like, it's a 50-50.
Ну, там целая лига была такая. Вот, мы сегодня ночью смотрели Sentinel.
But in terms of Ascent, that's exactly what you need. You need, I feel like to be a great Ascent team, you need someone who's a bit of a lunatic. Someone who's not afraid of their stats being bad. Someone who's not worried about the criticism and will keep dashing into that site again and again and again, because otherwise you have no entry in this map.
That's what a good player is, man. Like we've seen it from the dawn of time.
Бля, фильм охуенный посмотрели. Плюс, ребятки, кто со мной на стриме сидел, пока мы ждали матч. Что-то такое прям цепанул фильм немного. Знаете, вот бывают такие фильмы, просто ты смотришь, и как будто вот какой-то ты настолько вот, типа, проникся или погрузился в него, что вот какое-то чувство остается такое после фильма. Так они без VIP играют же. Блядь, он ему виз не дали. Реально понравился кинчик. Хочу теперь еще какой-нибудь кинчик посмотреть. Актер завез, ну бля, он красава, он во всех фильмах хорошо играет. Но он попал еще, вот просто даже своей внешкой попал. Не, я не отменяю его заслуг, он охуенно сыграл. Но вот именно своей внешностью, как будто прям попал в роль.
They are happy to just sit and wait. They've taken control in A main as well, but it's something that is clearly prepped for. And now the push looks to go back in.
Бля, я даже мини-карту нихуя не вижу. Что это за качество, бля? Вы че ебанутые? Просто ебаное мыло, я ничего не вижу, блядь. О, разъебать. Тим Эс! Прости, лежи. Лежи, все нормально. У меня пес так просто болеет. Он так вскочил. Лежи, ложись.
I gotta say, the level of detail here is blowing my mind. I know we had the Neon and the Yoru walking out with most of our teams, and I caught a glimpse of them on the first day when we
were
wow. Unreal.
Fucking
even, like,
shit, bitch.
In it and everything. It's something to aspire to.
Wow. Amazing.
When are we gonna get you?
Fuck, holy shit.
Who would you go for? Which agent?
Они что-то помимо вау еще. Здоровья, все, спасибо. Они что-то вау, помимо, что-то еще такое говорили, по типу вау, что-то вот. Часто спамили. Insane. Нет, что-то еще такое. Что было еще там, fuck. Wow. Dude, it's free money, dude. I told you, it's free money, dude. I told you, guys. I told you. Wow.
Trying to compete for mid control a little bit. C9 in the same boat. 2 weapons bought up. A Vandal alongside a Guardian. Obviously, Oxy.
А чего вы все не спите? Вы ебаные лодики, вы знали? Не, мне, конечно, приятно, что вы со мной сидите. Мне вообще нравится стримить для вас. Я, конечно, устаю как черт, пиздец. Когда вот такие ночные стримы, бля, по столько часов. На, хуйня ебаная. Название фильма «Стрингер». Охуенный кинчик. Кто пропустил фильм с нами? Посмотрите обязательно, прикольный. Это первая карта. Ну, долбоёб, запомнил, понимаю. Ну, я так понимаю, да, раздачу денег вот, от за это никто не хочет пропускать.
Zeta really running that clock down, and there's a few things that could go wrong here. One of them is lurking within that smoke behind them. However, again,
ебало в пол, сосунки. Сосунки, ебало в пол, блядь! Съебали свою Америку, нахуй. Катать по мойной торике. Че он орёт? Он подумал, что он его режет в тюрьме? Он подумал, что он его режет, 100%. Он просто зарал. Бегай, блядь! А это он стоял, блядь. Вообще ебанулся, паренек. Фиссурис такой увольняет, блядь. Вау, вау. Вау.
Even then, there are going to be some weaknesses. This has been a very tough start for the North American side.
They've got so many ults, though, that you have to put the expectation on them to win the round. Like, yeah, even you look at what's on the other side. Okay, they got a lockdown. You can counter that immediately. So everything else, I can't really see too much for Zeta in this, but they have been so clean. And the thing is, for such a young
Zeta, получается, на родной арене играют.
Their ability not to panic when that clock gets down to like 10-15 seconds. Like, normally that's where you see things go catastrophically wrong for rosters.
Ну, Zeta еще, ну, Zeta на родной арене, получается, играет.
Really impressive stuff. And as said, C9.
2-1 прямо сейчас на Cloud9. Ну, ставьте, чё. Ты скажи, как я поставлю, чтобы я еще долил на Зету. О, как он съебал! Ой-ой. Сука, тварь! Леголос ебаный. Бля, ну дефолтный угол, братишка. Ну, братишка, ну, блядь, скамеечку не чекнуть. Пиздец, блядь. Уебище, блядь. Опять не туда воюешь, блядь.
Dodges the flash, but two players on the other side. It's tough. Damage done. But finishing him off might be tough. Never mind. He even gets to reset onto the duel for Zeppa. Luckily, though, it doesn't go his way. With Uran falling, it's Hero Ron, the hero of the round. If he pulls this off, a 1 versus 4, a Curry performance, it would have to be.
30 seconds left.
It starts with Vanity. That wall bang's already coming through, and he'll take him down.
I love if you get Hero Run's player cam there, he's just laughing. The second he dies, he's just laughing to himself.
Заметили японцы какие, ну, такие благородные ребята, что Клоуда забрали раунд и все хлопают. Заметили? В Бразилию сгоняйте на чем? Там у вас бутылки полетят, если раунд возьмите.
And you know, the idea to use the Hunter's Fury off rip from C9 after spotting players outside of A was interesting. I guess because they have their own lockdown, they're comfortable enough that if Laz uses his, they can counter it, retake the space. But obviously it's one of the key counters that you're going to use to deter Laz from ever doing that.
It seems like it's going to be Zeta now calling a pause.
Нормально, мне нравится, что сразу паузу взяли. Как только чего взяли раунд, сразу взяли паузу. Ответственно. Бля, это мне очень нравится такой настрой, мне очень нравится такой настрой. Бля, ебать мне пса, короче. Ну, я же его забрал, как бы, у одноклассницы еще уже как 1,5 года назад, или что такое. И она ему когти не особо подстригала, и они выросли пиздецкие большие. И когда они так вырастают, то есть... Я забыл, как называется такая розовая борозда, или как это хуйнюшка под когтем называется, такая розовенькая. Короче, она растет вместе с ногтем тоже. И они настолько длинные стали, что это вообще пизда. Что мне ветеринар сказал, что я бы пилочкой так заебался их подпиливать. Ну, короче, я бы их никак не уменьшил уже. И ему надо было, пока он под наркозом лежал, под седативными, типа вот так вот их вместе с этой хуйней отрезали и прижигали прям. Но ветеринар сказал, что это, ну, типа, обычная практика. Ебать, Плутон проснулся, наверное, охуел. Говорит, вы что со мной сделали? Ну, застыли нормально коготочки у него, а то они ему даже бегать мешали. Не надо, не давай.
And an opportunity to further deny with the counter lockdowns. There's going to be no space taken on the back of Laz's ultimate.
Yeah. We are going to see, I think it was Curry just to take.
Ну, вообще, наверное, для атаки это выгодно так разменяться. То, что у них одного убили, а кого убили, я не вижу из-за чата. А Джетку? Джетку, ладно. Так вот, смотри, я тоже, мне сказали, что должны стачиваться. Я смотрю, они нихуя не стачиваются. Потому что есть стадия у когтей, когда они уже не стачиваются. То есть они настолько длинные, что они уже не вот так растут у него, а вот так, блядь, из-за этого не стачиваются. Это мне ветеринар объяснил. Шаран, ты смотрел?
They're just gonna have to try and make the move now. Oxy is
low.
He's already gone. Paranoia. It's
бомжа на умле. Трахный бомж, блядь. Бот. Бомж. Просто нищий. Просто нищие ебаные, блядь. Съебали за бургерами в Макдональдс, нахуй. Съебали за бургерами, блядь. И картошку фри возьмите. Я угощаю, блядь.
Going to catch onto Curry, but still util being used by Vanity, surviving close and Laz still standing. It is going to put it left all onto the leader. The face of this squad to try and take it back. He spotted both, and Vanity now down to incredibly low HP. He even has the nano swarm. Take him out.
Хуяку мою взяли вот так, блядь. И пососали, блядь. Съебали сфоткаться на статус свободы, блядь.
Stuff from Laz. I mean, he's so smart as well, getting into that corner, the one spot Vanity couldn't see him from. He's spraying away.
Какие-то вопросы там, вы помните, писали? А сейчас на гулдов еще больше заливайте. Давайте, давайте, блядь. Так. А я просто не знаю, мне такую трансу можно смотреть?
time. Such a beautiful round, and for Zeta, they are not just here surviving.
Да то же самое. Ой, блядь. Что у них такое? У вас тоже это, если вы на своем компе откроете, может это у меня проблема, но я не думаю. Ну все, тогда не фанимся, пацаны, похуй. Я думаю, они понимают, что есть проблема, пофиксить.
Actually just fades off of it. The crowd definitely starting to wake up a bit as well. I think that last clutch is the loudest by far of anything that's happened so far in this arena. Maybe a fan favorite. Not sure, you know.
They like him a little bit. They like him. You like him too, Tom. Last fan account.
Yep.
We see you.
Yep.
Not surprised after what we just saw.
If you're not a fan of Laz, you're the problem.
I'm kind of becoming a Uran fan, I'll be honest. After the series yesterday we cast, now looking at him here, who's playing Ascent, you know, I feel like we'd have some good conversations.
На этой карте хорош. На сове. Ну, на каких-то тоже еще есть. Ну да, можешь жестко забрить. Бля, ну они угадывают с направлением.
Straight in towards the site again in the late round. TP cancelled. Vanity looking to try and find an angle to spam, but
бля, они полностью пустой план зашли.
Not going to give too much away. Again, leaving it.
Ну куда ты видишь так?
Still takes Kayada down. Rotation coming back in. This is an adventurous TP and almost works out, but Oxy is so
Уебище, блядь.
This is late.
А зачем они так видят? Они на пустой план зашли. Вы спросите меня, зачем они так видят? Чтобы оттрахать потом нахуй, блядь, чтобы обиднее было, блядь. Да они угорают, они говорят, ребята, это бомжи, ебать.
Look at the timing. And as Oxy swings to kill him, that's when Hero Ron takes the kill from the side. That was, I mean, you couldn't choreograph that any better.
They're having a great time, having a ball. And that's the thing, we've known this from Laz. When Laz is in form, you're in danger. We saw it in the past where when he used to go into Chamber, that was just terrifying. And now on that Killjoy as well, 12 and 5, has been a very different look to Cloud9 from what we saw yesterday versus Fennel. A tougher opponent for sure, and a nice shot from Curry again. His Sheriff has always seemingly been good for one. Vanity's going to manage to collect the orb as well, but this buy doesn't have a lot of legs behind it, and Sugar Zero, patient, is already going to spot the push. He does actually have some support though, and actually, a bit of utility wasted.
Ебать, посмотрите, как чел реагирует. Вот смотрите, у него инфа, что отжимают на лобби глубоко. Чел сразу зиг забежал, нафанил. Блять, это уже показывает, что челы понимают в игре. Что он понимает, что он, ну это риск, но он понимает, где свободная зона была. И занял ее.
And a round like this for C9, this is all they could possibly wish for, to chip away at the numbers of Zeta, deal damage over time.
Ну бля, вы тайминг теряете, надо заходить. Осады. Забеги, чепуха ебаная, ты никого убить в этой жизни не можешь. Забеги, блядь.
With the spike planted and C9 having to make their way back through. No command used, no utility to help them on their way. This is a perilous journey and one that has an almost written conclusion. No adjustments to be made. It is Zeta steaming ahead. 8 rounds on the board to match C9's 3. And this is going to be a huge task for C9 to recover.
Бля, я еще знаете, что думал, иногда будет как? Понимаешь, что если типа люди могут взять первые раунды, типа вот так ставишь дохуя, а потом продаешь, не? Вы так не делаете? Но тут я не буду продавать. Условно, что я часто такое вижу. Как аутсайдеры берут первый раунд и можно продать нормально.
I don't know if they expected it to be this good. They've lost a single buy round. And again, just premise that from when they played yesterday, Zeta were not good in their buy rounds. Comparatively to C9 on Haven, they were definitely the worst of the two in terms of buy rounds. In this game, they have been unbelievable. Now they've got Hero on.
Ебать, я продать могу уже.
Just to try and maybe fight some of those early battles.
Я поставил 5, могу продать за 8500 уже.
Back to this sort of patient default. Laz has been a menace on the lurks. And Oxy, for the most part, has been somewhat shut down this game.
I think someone just looked at
Зетка придет. Главное верить, правильно, пацаны?
Perfect. They've taken some space, denied some information, kept players on B, but it's the double mid play from C9. Not just with two players on
А то, что я ставил на 2-0 3000, я могу за 6 уже продать.
Dual angles to take those duels, and fortunately they will be denied the smokes that are going down, the gradual space taken. And although Zeta are not capitalizing on those smokes, they're not filling in the space, they're robbing it from C9. Someone needs to fill in those gaps, and it's Jake and Zeppa. The duo on
Да мне бабок не особо.
to have a little bit of a crunch, a surprise play, but Zeta cannot be caught on the back foot.
30 seconds left.
There's nothing but success to be found for this attacking.
А нахуя мне продавать, если next pick Zeta? Это пик лудов, держи в курсе. Это пик лудов, держи в курсе. Там чего убить не может, блядь?
Use the ult. He can reload. It's okay. He can oh no, he's being shock darted by a teammate. What is going on here? But either way, Zeta, despite all the tomfoolery in the end, they have come out with all 5 players. Not only a beautiful half, but a beautiful conclusion to it as well, flawlessly closing out.
Смотрю, где фанат клубов, не пойму. А я так мало поставил, потому что не дало много поставить на этот матч. Вот как до 13 тысяч поставил, я нихуя не понимаю. Где ты поставил? А, 2 раза? Да, переживаний 0. Да посмотри, как они уверенно сидят, хуй знает. Бля, они как будто на фулл уверенности, смотрите. Хуй знает. Не стал пикать даже в этой ситуации, да. Это называется, знаете что? Дисциплина. Что чел просто спрятался, еще и ульт поставил. Прикиньте, какой тот чел в тилте, что он даже не стал с ним стреляться, поставил ульт, пришли его кенты и просто оттрахали его, блядь. И в рот, и в жопу, блядь. Вы, кстати, ловите на клоудов там? Ну, ловцы. У нас рыбаки сидели, помните?
That must have felt mass pressure because that's a round again that you cannot lose. And for some of the players.
Главное верить, пацан, 9-3 курс. Я говорю, да это первый раунд, да это первый закуп, да это первая половина, да это первая карта, да это первый БО3. Ай, блядь, я уже в самолете сижу. Да, верите, блядь.
When this is your map choice and you've managed 3 rounds on the defensive ascent. Yeah. Not feeling good, not feeling good. I think like yesterday their defense was a 10.
Я не думаю, что там джетлаг. Охуели, джетлаг должен быть. Не так уж и далеко там Япония, блядь.
Maybe. I appreciate your optimism.
For C9's sake, I certainly hope so.
Да и люди заранее приезжают. Какой джетлаг?
Even doubling down on it.
They already took him out.
Poor Leaf.
Чё ты пишешь, потому что что? Мне бэтбом лимита порезали? Да не заебали, я ему уже писал. Вроде мне потом сделали норм, теперь опять, блядь, порезали. Сейчас спрошу у них.
And that's why Zeta repositioned and now focus up on short with 3 players there, 2 in heaven. This is just going to be a standard retake.
3 underneath from C9. I don't know if this will necessarily be expected. A couple of them have been spotted, and well, for Kaida, this is going pretty well. He's now the last man standing. Both players, he knows where they are, but he's not going to be landing the shots. And Jake having that step up. As said, it's been a quiet game.
Ну вот на этот матч мне дало поставить 5000, и на 2-0 мне, ну, дал на бэтбоме, на 2-0 мне дало поставить 300 рублей. Потому что я уже тебе 5000 поставил.
If you only win both pistols. Hey, they got round 8. Oh, sorry. You win both pistols.
На Z коэффициент 2, блядь.
Well, in that case, C9 could never lose this.
Hey, look. You don't want to get the facts wrong.
Чего, из-за того, что челы песик взяли? Че, ебанутые?
always nice when he
We
can't
like throwing
respond.
in them.
А, это общий, блядь.
This cape is
А не на
It's
карту.
alright.
Все,
All he'll
все.
say is something about pajamas again, so you know.
Че съебал на стривере?
Hey, you went shopping though yesterday.
No, it's many.
Не знаю, бро. Человек весь взяли.
Much in this round. In fact, very, very little. A single frenzy is all they've really got. Obviously, some utility behind it, and the B push. Well, it's going to give them the information that it's not B. Good luck, Hero Ron.
Probably not what they wanted though here. They wanted to run into some B players. Instead, it's going to be
Моя жена? Какая зомби?
That's not ideal. Moving back into the A site. There's plenty of angles where you can catch players off guard. Don't get me wrong, but they have really got themselves entrenched and full information. You know, there's no way you're catching them off guard with a flank. They know about this, and it's Curry watching it. A very tough duel to win under any circumstances, really. But add to that, classics and just a frenzy. It's just that one upgraded pistol. This becomes a near impossible task. They've done well to find one. Leave Curry on 43. Capitalizing on this kill would be fantastic. Hero Ron, a very tough challenge, and there it is. The final bullet laid well in Hero Ron's chest. C9 push up to 5. They've won both pistols and both follow-ups in the anti-ecos. Short of that,
Wow.
one other round. So quite a big task ahead of them.
I like the fact they've gone a little
Пиздатых срывают? Не визатых.
into some of the rifles. Like when you're down a few rounds, you want to make sure that these bonus rounds are at least a little bit closer. So having those Guardians, having an extra rifle in there, even maybe going for a Bulldog or something alongside it, it's going to make this one dangerous for Zeta. Now, last time out, there were a couple of these guys.
Ебать вы радуетесь, дурочки. Давайте, давайте.
Have to see
Вот сейчас посмотрим на вашу радость.
how they're going to cope in this one, at least for now.
О, втроих на Б.
Fairly
Сам Бог велел.
it's going to be big.
That looks like they've made the right
Хорошо,
move
в
on that
сову, в киллджойку, в джет. Хорошо, блядь.
big
Oh my
reveal.
god.
Now the shock darts start to come through. Now the damage can come into play.
Oh no.
Kaida hasn't been spotted, and he's got a shrouded step right in front of him. Easy pickings for Laz. Even a nano swarm kill to be found. Zeppa voted by the team to be most.
Бля, не дай бог, это чучело возьмет, ебаное.
Now in a 1v2, his chance to prove that his teammates didn't miss.
Какой-то неожиданно мерзкий, что ли?
А
А чё, порадоваться здесь ставки, бля? В чём мерзость, блядь? Ой, 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 ничего не вижу, ой, ай, где я? Где я? Мерзко это на голодов ставить, пацаны, запомните. Вот это мерзко, нахуй.
At least they do get to fall back on their economy and get a full buy up here, but that was a massive oversight, assuming that there was just that one player towards the site. Kaida was patient, tucked in the corner.
Я вам сказал, просто пистолетки порадовались. Так, чисто дали надежду, а потом забрали, блядь. Все, ласт бабки.
Try and get himself something to play with. In this early round, they have gone back.
Ну да.
Stack towards that A side. Maybe the expectation that they're not going to try and go in this direction once again. And Kaeda's
Ну рискнул. Ну не, это не прям плохая ТПХ. Ты пойми, Оман такой чел. Вот у тебя джетка дэшится и Оман прыгает. Очень удобно, все молики перепрыгиваешь и так далее. Типа, ну, нормально, да и нормально тэпка. Ну рискнул, блядь. Ну там, понимаешь, их же прочитали, по сути, они втроем на Б стояли.
Hey, look, it's good utility denial. 300 credits to do that. It's not too bad. Let's see what he can do, though. The player up close, Curry.
Так он мог и в ту сторону смотреть.
The bigger problem is that if they do split through mid, I do think that Ares is now then going to just be hot trash. Like,
ну да, и что джетку не шивает. А он грамотно пропустил джетку просто.
His support is this man, who's been kind of good.
А я не помню, какого хуя они так стоят? У вас джетка на лобби залочила. Ой, блядь, чего там дручите?
Kaida somehow survived that. He's staying alive inside the smoke, but there it fades, and Jake is already behind him. Having used the paranoia and the shrouded step to bypass
Нормальный раунд
the
от
secure
голодов, ладно.
defense that he had up and running.
Сделали вид, что без сплит и стянули зиг.
Numbers thinned down
Нормально
now for
пойдет.
Zeta, and with Hero Run on 5 HP, Tom, it is not looking good. Iran has to go huge.
Так, а можно и проебать. Я в Америке всякое видал, знаете ли. Ну-ка, Юран, блядь, покажи, как можешь. Ну-ка, Юран. Ну-ка, Юран. Пошел, 1 в 3.
Vanity able to clean things up without too many problems. And I have to say, like I said, first half, Jake had a rough time, but he's had a couple of high-impact rounds already when it comes to their attack.
Obviously, from our perspective, we could also see that Zeta wouldn't really have a chance to save those weapons for free. If you glance at the mini-map here, you'll notice that Curry was over on B, late lurking, and he crept up through mid. So had they have
Ебать вы вылазите. Чисто, блядь, такие раунд взяли. Это можно пиздануть. Можно пиздануть в чатик. Как поживаешь? Да, нормально. В целом норм.
Players for the side of Zeta in this map, at least.
Эх, забрать бы Эко, как приятно было бы. Чтобы у вас ебучки сразу на 0. Ну. Заберите пестики, пожалуйста. Как будет приятно. Как же они закроют ебучки свои.
Not much to play with in this round for Zeta, but we've seen them do it.
Изменил КС в итоге. Валька охуенная игра.
Expectations on Cloud9 to close that distance a little bit more. All being taken might give them a little bit of extra info. The thing is though, if they are going to use that null command potentially to just make this so difficult, it doesn't seem like much of a chance, and well, even without it, absolutely nothing found. Great entries in from Zephyr and Oxy, and well, for the rest of the defense, it should be difficult.
Блять.
So crispy clean, it's just
Бля, пацаны, на винограде были. Ебать. Пока не игра. В винограде были. Ебать, он раскрутиться мог. Что с лица, бля, вот такие дурочки. До первого авика игра. Бля, вот это мог, блядь, долбаный мышь тоже.
Real opportunities to push this all the way now that rifles come into play. Kaida with a blade storm in this round, something to keep your eye on as we progress.
Так, в телегу не забываем залетать. Скоро будет охуенный анонсик. Как всегда, розыгрыши, блядь, для вас. Все для вас. И скоро будет очень интересный анонсик.
One kill and he gets himself the lockdown, and this round becomes so much more difficult for C9, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to find it. They've still been able to rotate relatively quick. Oh, it's not connected by Kaida though. Oxy's been able to get that entry, and was that? Oh, it was a fake TP. I thought it just seen Jake TP all the way into the spawn. I was like, that was pretty optimistic. Even still, he's managed to find impact.
Что за война происходит, блядь?
Vanity holding the line.
Блядь, что, нереально убить его, блядь?
Waiting to see if he runs out of bullets, especially with how low he is on ammo. This could be problematic for Vanity, and he will fall back into a 2v2 scenario. And remember, Laz's kill does get him.
А, с ножом, да. С ножом беги, реально.
It is in the end.
Ебанат.
Gonna take a second for Laz to get back into this. Haven't been detained. Now
he's ready
to go and take that fight. Player down below hasn't been spotted. Curry has the jump on him.
Он не читает,
That might
надеюсь.
just be enough to close this one out. Curry, of course, gonna have to move out of position, but with his nano swarms winning the round, not too much to be done. Very easy close. Having assumed both players were in main, that was the wrong read. And we will see the round. Whoops. We will see the round go to C9. 2 rounds between them. And I'll really say that this attack side is starting to take shape now.
Так, за сколько там продать можно?
They've won absolutely everything. Finances through the roof. Ult still somewhat in their favor. And this is now starting to look very dangerous for Zeta, and that's the thing.
Пока в плюс.
Losing your opponent's map, it's another being firmly in the lead after a fantastic half, and then letting it slip away. Like, that's going to be difficult to take. And as we've mentioned so many times, this is a young squad. Like, they're not the sort of players that can come into this and have that mass experience of mental fortitude.
Да, что на битбоме нельзя это? Одинаковые ставки делать тоже.
It'd be a lot easier to do. It's not like someone like Laz as well, who's been competing in prior games and coming into this. For a lot of them, this will be their first time out on a big esports stage. If you're winning and it slips, that's going to be hard to take.
That's it, man. That's it. You know, and then moving on to the next map, fine, sure, you can think that Zeta have the preference there. It's their map pick. They've obviously got their prep done on it. Who knows how C9 will stack up against what they've got planned, but Reality is, yeah, it stinks to have that just swept out from under you when the series was so convincingly going your way. Again, the main thing, the main praise that we had to sing for Zeta up against C9 last time was the fact that they were consistently able to win thrifty rounds, consistently able to win pistol rounds. It's been the exact inverse this time around, with C9 taking that Zeta role and keeping themselves alive with pistol wins.
They still seem to be very happy, laughing, giggling, like the vibes are being brought back by the coaching staff, which is good to see. Because that's the thing, even if things start to slip away, they're still in the lead, they're still on that defensive side, and we've already seen many hero plays out from this roster. The individual skill cannot be questioned, so C9 can't get too ahead of themselves just yet. Fact is though, early stages of this one, they're trying to almost blitz their way in, led by Oxy. It's only going to be the one and done. He went in with the Blade Storm though, so I don't believe that's a weapon loss, so nothing that can be retrieved by Laz. Although I will say, if I see Laz on one side of the map, I'm going the other way.
There is a judge close as well to be recovered. It's not a lot, but it's something. Certainly help him out on this close range hold. Mid is wide open. That's obviously going to be a concern for him with nothing to defend it. Turret back on in 12. We might see it placed, but for now, the human turret of Hero Ran is here. And yeah, 2 players spotted inside of B main.
Ну, бля, угадайте, можете угадайте.
Jake, if Hero Ron is distracted by the B main play, if it comes through, Jake could find an opening to slip in.
Да, там.
Just give it away though. That's been seen and noted and heard.
But they're going back. The knife caught 2 players. Now this leaves the only
Да, реально так думаю.
Sugar Zero. Paranoia is perfect, and so is the shot. An execution of Jake. Now they don't have those smokes.
Стой, не спеши, забрать ганзики.
Kayada, this might be a nasty surprise. They're expecting a pistol to be within this smoke. It's a risky game. That rifle on the other side. And now they're going to try and
Хорошо, ганзики подобрать.
not allow those ults to be put into play as Zeta have a chance in this round.
Post-plant Hunter's Fury, though, time will be run down by Vanity. You see him run all the way back to A main. Supportive utility is the best that he'll be offering with a recon. Knife out on site. Zeppas knows there's one player coming from heaven, but the timing is perfect for Sugar Zero.
This ult is worth it.
He was spotted and accounted for it. Now Vanity has to run it forward, take these fights halfway defused already, and he's given up. He's realized there's no winning this round. There's no escaping. The recovered judge deals the final blow as Laz picks up his second in the round. That is a one step closer to closing out Cloud9's map pick. Well, giving them a little taste of deja vu.
Impressive. I think, again, you have to give some credit to the coaching staff, because just...
Вот что там погорячился на джетке так лететь, конечно, не знаю. Знаешь, что там пистолеты, вот так залетать в соло, а ну хуя.
Laz, Sugar Zero, the ones that have been there before, if they can pump up the youngsters, they can definitely close this map. And
да мне нет бабок составить,
пацаны. It's been a bit quieter from Sugar Zero than what we've seen so far throughout this tournament. For C9, there has to be a response. Financially, no issues. They've got that purchase back in. They actually used a couple of ults in that last round, and all of them went amiss.
Dangerous recon used. C9 very quick to react with Curry hightailing it out of main. He plays with Vanity. He knows what it means when he sees that go up, and Uran was very much looking to replicate that performance. I like the off-angle change as well. You know, he's using a very similar setup to what you see with the Killjoy, where Kaida is basically the turret right now to allow that wall bang to come through. Close range, drone goes through, decent range on it. He'll get just around the corner, and there's one spotted. Spike seen as well. But it's all, you know, just because the spike is there, just look at the mini-map. 2 outside A, 1 watching mid push. Quite a passive play from this.
Сука ебаная. Попрыгай, попрыгай там. Попрыгай на хуяйке.
Still a shock dart in play for Uran as well. I could have went extremely badly.
Yeah, they're kind of in no man's land as well. 35 seconds left, and they're only just starting to make a move into middle. Bear in mind, there's multiple players ready and waiting on short. In fact, Laz even has a lockdown. If he was to place this now,
ебать там ультов есть. Надо ульт ее нажимать, надо ульт ее нажимать. Хорошо.
It's a different story altogether. 15 seconds now, and they're only just making their way into the
side.
This is looking like a fumble from Cloud9 as they fall one by one. Zeta, a 12th now on the board on their opponent's map choice.
Попишите в чат, блядь. А вы где, пацаны, блядь? Алло. Фанаты глутов. Ебальники к осмотру по одному, нахуй. На 1.20 не стоят, бля. Вообще ёбнутые. Да ладно, это первая карта. Наливайте на вторую там, типа, похуй.
22-11, by the way.
Just pixel perfect gameplay from this Zeta side. And you know, there's a reality where you come into a game like this, maybe even some Redditors.
Да бля, я бы тоже доставил. У меня без шуток, просто нет бабок, все. Я закончились фулл бабки. Я бы тоже доставил. С учетом того, что Ч.2 взяли 2 пестика, да, я... Бро, поверь, я всегда обращаю на внимание на такие вещи. Конечно. 8-12 двумя пестиками, пацаны, о чем вы говорите? 4 раунда нахуй отмите из этих.
Tournament so far, and this game, it's not been bad. I'm not going to say that, but it hasn't been that same level from him individually.
Пусть останется тайной, бро. Ну нету бабок, а зачем мне обманывать? Если были бабки, нахуй мне говоришь, что нет денег. Типа, если я хочу как-то на донат забайтить, ну нахуй мне так говорить. Я бы не знаю. Я не люблю так делать, не знаю. Я говорю, что... Ну, типа, я могу... Не то, что байтить, я так и скажу, блядь. Давайте соберем вот на это. Как вот тогда вы меня выручили с квартиры, реально, мы собрали. А так обычно донатят прикольно люди. Не донатят, ничего страшного. Ну, типа, не знаю. Как что-то срочное, я говорю, вот так. Да, на телегу тоже подписывайтесь, мужики, вот. Это благодарочка будет.
Oh wow, even going to be cancelled out. No utility to play with that knife landing at the perfect timing. Hero Ron knows the player up close. Oxy's been accounted for. Good read on where the second player would be, but no shutdown to be found. Every single player of Zeta.
Sit down, суки, блядь.
And an unbelievable result.
Съебались, блядь.
For the second time against C9, this time on their map pick with Bind and Lotus to try and close.
Heaven случайность, говорили они. Heaven случайность, да это регион бомжей ебаных, блядь. Бля, они как будто на уверенность, посмотрите, они угорают. Они не в напряге даже, как будто они понимают, что так и должно быть. Понимаете? Бывает так, что люди выиграли как случайно, они сами в ахуе, как они выиграли. А тут челы встают, и они фу угорают. Ну видно, что они прям, ну не знаю, на уверенности. Ну неужели не видно это? Да, продавай, великий камбэк. Вот, разбежался и продал. Да, на второй карте будет фулгар. Мы как раз, ну, я в своем частном самолете буду лететь, буду пиздец заливаться от смеха. Думаю, ебать поднялся вот так с одной ставки, блядь. Просто в дамке. Чего? Кого они выиграли? Ты про Фэнл говоришь или про кого, блядь? Ты про Фэнл говоришь? Ну так я сам в ахуе, я на Фэнл ставил. Я думал, они должны были также попустить этих холодов. Не знаю, просто там люди на сцене играли Фэнлы. Может, у них руки тряслись или... Ну, типа такого, знаешь. Что-то не пошло у них, короче. По факту они должны их были прибить, нахуй. Я сам удивился, что они проебали. Еще с таким счетом, блядь. Но все равно не помешал мне поставить против них. Ты же понимаешь, что это бомжи траханые, блядь. Только трехи умеют катать в своем регионе, все, блядь. Бля, ебать, я уже могу x2 ставку продать. Ну, то есть я ставил 4000, допустим, могу за 8500 продать. А, тут я могу, смотрите, я поставил 5000 на битбуме и могу продать за 12. Конечно, я могу уже продать все ставки, которые я поставил на общую победу, и оставить все ставки на 2-0. Ну, я хуй что продал. Сейчас приду.
Welcome back to Red Bull Homeground 2023 live from Tokyo, Japan. We've got the home favourite Zeta kicking off our first quarter-final in tremendous style, taking Cloud9's pick Ascent and taking this into our second map of the series. And we've got Mitch and Tom ready to talk you through it, enjoying their lighty blue Red Bull.
The lighty one is so good.
The lighty one slaps. Let me get a purple one, hold on.
The thing that's going to really upset me as well is I don't think I can get this when we go back to the UK.
No,
so.
this is one of the two only available in Japan, I believe.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sad.
not true. You got a stock under the desk. I've seen them. All right, let's get back to business.
I'm gonna have a whole suitcase full. I'm gonna buy a new one just to put the lighty in there.
What a complete advanced performance from this young team.
What made it advanced?
Just beyond their years, though, right? It's true, though, right? When you think about it, they are playing beyond their years when it comes to experience.
And they're advancing in the series.
Well done. Well
yes,
done.
thank you.
Honestly, I put you under pressure and you thrive.
Yeah.
Just like
you
Zeta.
said, you're bulletproof. Well,
Just like Zeta, put under pressure and he thrives.
That's
exactly.
Thrive in a live environment, that's what they say. But they are shocking seasoned veterans opposite them, Mitch.
They absolutely are. Yeah, look, the reality is on that C9 roster, sure, you've got some newer faces, but the depth that they can bring to the table in terms of international experience, in terms of age, I mean, Vanity has been IGLing for God knows how long, been there since the start of Valorant, and up here against this squad, I think most people would have them pinned as clear favorites. I think coming into the tournament, they were clear favorites in their opening matchup against this squad. We move to BO3s, and you say, oh, well, there's no more randomness, there's no more BO1s. Now this is where they'll thrive, and on C9's map pick.
They can't just win both pistols and win the game, guys. Like, come on. Then they lose both pistols and still win the game. And C9 only get 8 rounds.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a single thrifty from Zeta in that? I don't remember seeing.
There was the one. There was the one where Laz got a kill and then picked up the judge, and then you had Sugar Zero get a headshot with the sheriff.
Yes.
Squad.
Okay.
So there was that one, and that
that
actually turned them around. So.
Well,
one thrifty versus multiple from before.
Speaking of Laz, you and every single other fan in this arena, huge fans of him for obvious reasons, and he's showing up when it matters here. Some really big moments from him.
Oh, yeah, I honestly...
Малышки, ладно. Вообще еблан, блядь.
A young squad, like, I'm sure any Japanese...
Нах ты телегу своей мамы скинул, блядь. Малышка ж пишет. Уважительный хоть.
And then you're playing with him, and he's doing just ridiculous shit all the way through the game.
All-in за Зету? А кто-то продал ставку? Вот те, кто ставили на Зету. Допустим, как я, там много ставок. Вы продали какие-то или оставили? У кого-то на первой карте не слишком уверенно смотрели, что продавать, не знаю. Как будто даже с двумя пестиками все равно чего так мало раундов взяли. Вот тут смотрите, как смартовый чел сделал. Как душно, реально, как душно.
Listen, it's hard sometimes, the running inaccuracy and so on, but the reality is, you know, for this guy,
Реально?
there's going to be some conversations out there about players like Oxy and even C9 just overall underperforming, not playing the same level, all this sort of stuff, and actually, I don't even think that's the case. It's like Zeta are stepping up to another level. They're outclassing them again and again, and I just can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, this squad has never, throughout that entire map, I cannot even think of a mistake they made. I can't point to something and go, that was silly, that was bad. If anything, we started out the first couple of rounds and we saw some hiccups from C9. We saw them look a little bit desynergized, and that is an insane sign for the success that Zeta are bringing to the table here. Now they've got their map pick up next as well. You have to think that only favors them to close this out 2-0.
When you are a player that can step up to the plate and come into form,
Sick.
Laz is a player, when he does come into form, he will tear you apart. What a place to do it. You know, because there's one thing coming into form at an environment not like this, but then doing it in front of a home crowd in an arena like this against big teams, that takes a different level of courage.
The thing as well is, like, everybody going into an off-season tournament like this, like, Fnatic, I think most of them are thinking, there's not a lot of pressure on us here. Like, we're favorites, but if we lose, it doesn't matter that much. We've heard the same from, like, DRX. It's like, we're testing a few things. We've got some young players in. For Laz, this is in his hometown, it's his team's hometown, and he's got to perform because all the fans, all the expectation, it's not on the young players.
No, it's on him.
It's on that guy right there, and that guy right there is taking things into his own hands. He's going onto the chamber. Now, yes, we've got Yoru on Oxy. That's going to be a really fun dynamic between the two because now Laz he's taken over in a much different way because before, he's the site anchor. Now he's up in your face here.
The heat is on, and we are going into Zeta's map pick here. They've already taken Cloud9's. We're going to bind. What do Cloud9... We've given Zeta their props here. How do Cloud9 switch things around, Mitch?
Well, look, Oxy, quite simply, like, playing a Yoru on this map, there's so much that you can do. Cloud9 will be looking to bypass Laz. He's got utility.
And you can spam with it out.
Yeah, look, it's not, if Vanity was on the Yoru, I believe that's what we were about to see. I'm not sure Oxy will fully follow.
I'd just default
just leave. But the reality is, Laz is going to want to hold choke points. He's going to use his utility to stop
Спасибо за наводку.
hold an angle, take you down. Oxy's going to want to not peek an angle, but teleport behind you. Make you look at your back, then his team swings the angle. That's going to be great for their attacking side.
Who was one of the OG Yorus on this particular map? You should know, because I brought it up to you a million times.
Is it Laz?
It is Laz.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to know the sort of lineups, the chaos that's going to be created, it is going to be the man. Well, the man of the moment.
Ебать, там распик.
We know that Zeta can win a best of one. We've already seen that. This is the first time
В два дулика, блядь.
a second map of a series. This is a different territory, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, and also it's Yatsuka looking for a win. He's been subbed in again. Obviously, we've seen it with Kaeda playing the Jet, but on this map, he's the one that brings in the Rays. And that's the thing. The rest of the team, as you said, they've had a victory.
Yeah.
They've got
Почему 1-1?
the fans. Whereas for him, this is still, as a young
Это
player,
как понял?
opportunity to take that dub, show that he is a strong player.
Чем берет
on that
кринж?
wave and, well, maybe hype up that crowd a little bit because it didn't
Well,
go for him in that last game.
All right, well, if this is a short day for you two casters, I want an advanced performance from you right here, right now. Can we see Zeta, the home team, continue their fairy tale story with a 2-map win here and progress into our semi-finals, or will Cloud9 kick back? It's time to find out. Tom and Mitch, take it away.
My money's on Zeta. After what I've seen so far, Tom, I think a lot of the people in the audience would agree with us there, but C9 might have some bite to them, just like that Tiger did right off rip. They've sent that up from Hero Ron, cleared out the Yoru, forced him to use his gate crash to get back towards the B site, and the space is well and truly.
Бам, нахуй. Ну да, чем берет и кринж, согласен.
The headhunter has found its mark with Zeppa down. The advantage sits with Zeta, and C9 might want to make all. No.
Что он делает? Кто это? А что он делает? Нет, спасибо, конечно. А что он сделал? Потухни, блядь, чепуха ебаная.
Leaving just a couple of players left, and they've gone through the TP. Now Jake is in a great position. The flash.
Ты чё, уебище?
Sugar Zero gets caught, and because of that, it now turns back. The interesting.
Ну все, просто на Б, просто на Б. А зачем вам нужно? У вас же Рейза уже вон где. Просто на Б съебать.
He's gonna clear everything. Now they can just double back. There's no way that anybody
Просто съебать, да.
to the punch. It's just going to be on this duel, and I don't know if Oxy's going to expect anybody to be this far forward.
Съебался нахуй.
Execution on the rotation.
Ну не надо, да, его просто уйди.
This is now free. Time is a little bit low, but with a full W key towards the B site, they shouldn't have a problem, and it may not even matter too much.
Ой, бля, как потно. Какой красавчик, еще убежал, блядь. Посмотрите, как потно. Ну, посмотрите, как потно. Он еще закрылся, блядь. Как потно они играют. Просто охуенно. Чел не стал до Талова стреляться, просто убежал, блядь. Потом опять пятичка показал, опять убежал, блядь. Не, они охуенно играют. Ну, в этих моментах хотя бы люди хуйней не страдают, не репикают там, блядь. Ну, реально, посмотрите. Чел вот тут пикнул, оп, и убежал. Оп, закрылся.
Great opportunity, not just up against C9, a team that his squad has already defeated on their map pick, somewhere he's comfortable, where he gets to play.
Да, приятно, я согласен.
It's his first game on the stage in front of this crowd as well, which is a
Ну, смотри, как они уверенно сидят, угорают, блядь. Ну, видно, не знаю, в таком вайбе, знаете. Домашняя арена еще. Они понимают, что вот они играют на домашней арене, они уже разъебали на первой.
I thought Ian was pulling out a sword there. He's got a 360-degree camera on a gigantic stick.
У всех кепки Valorant, блядь.
Just a weird guy. He is a bit strange, but we love him. We might be a little bit distracted.
Кто это там? А это что за малышки сидят? Ну-ка. Это я, Алексей Миллионер.
But some things that weren't being heard were things on the server. Sound issues, so there's a technical pause for now. Giving a moment to breathe.
Написано, часто так?
Both pistols. They've now lost the opening pistol here on Bind. Zeta's home field advantage double down on.
It's interesting for me that I obviously C9 have looked fairly comfortable to try and turn games around, but especially when you're running a double duelist with a Yoru, picking that defensive side is very interesting. Like I think that coming into this one, a lot of the time you're going to have high expectations for Oxy on the attack. But defensive Yoru, yeah, it's kind of mid. I think, like, obviously you've got your ideas, which I don't necessarily agree with. But one thing I will like on this map.
Против лутбиков, вот это уже надо призадуматься. Не знаю, они тоже нападение. Да, конечно, какая лига, такие ставки, блядь. Нахуя мне на эту хуйню ставить, блядь. Я и так туда поставил 1050 суммарно, мне кажется. Нахуй это сделал вообще, долбоёб.
Yeah, revitalized it after Bucky FC.
Yeah, long time since we've seen the Bucky.
Who in the future you may know them as Fnatic.
Might have heard of them.
Yeah, they're a bit of a,
play some other esports
like
too.
A small indie team.
Yeah, they do one or two other games. Tend to do okay in them.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for Curry, 64 HP. He's been clean with the headshots, but Hero Wrong gives him a taste of his own medicine. Now the space taken, the smoke out. Nobody inside of Hookah can really have a say over this site take, and, well, everything is cleared. For Vanity, the bookie could be strong if they entry into Hookah, but for him, jumping out of it, not quite a favorable engagement. Well handled by Laz. Playing with full Headhunter bullets and a Sheriff. I mean, he really wants to go for headshots, and there it is! The bookie's found one. And now he's
Молодец, держи дигл.
with a Sheriff, a chance to fight back, but There's still 4 players to pick up. Really, it's about damage for C9. How many players can they force to drop their weapons moving into the next round? And it's not a lot for now. Vanity could push it over the line, though. 1 or 2 more kills here.
И даблпик, да, сейчас? Бля, посмотри, какая дисциплина. Они стояли, ждали, пока, ну, Брим начнет пикать. Бля, как охуенно. Как же мне нравится смотреть, какая дисциплина у команды есть. Это сразу видно. Вот они стоят 3 в 1, и никто не пикает. Они ждут, пока Брим... Ну, они играют по Бриму оба. Как только он начинает стрелять, они выходят, убивают. Блядь, как охуенно смотреть, реально. Да по-разному.
But I can't compete.
But you don't need to. That's the thing. We're on the English stream, right? I think a lot of people won't know. So you can.
Чтобы там 0 раундов люди взяли.
Your take. Full chest. I believe in you, Tom. I believe in you. I believe.
I'm up to it. Maybe we'll sub Ian in just to say the word.
Just to say Stim Beacon
and nothing else.
I reckon.
Че они к этому Б так приебались? Ладно, раунды берутся, похуй. Но все равно что-то, блядь, это уже дрочла.
Whenever the Stim Beacon goes down, Ian, your job is to scream Stim Beacon with full chest.
You know what Stim Beacon is?
This is not a great start for Zeta. They've already lost a lot of players. Good hold on this B side.
Ох, от бонус, 2 их убили.
Quick conclusion. That was the bonus round for Zeta. One C9 are expected to win, and one they very much have won.
An absolute blitz through in towards the side.
Fan and crowd. Let's go.
Now they will be coming back in with the purchase. Now none of the ults particularly close to being online. Jake will have that orbital strike soon, however, for the defense. He got off to a decent start so far in this game. Quite stuff from Zeppa, who I'm excited to see play the Rays. I'll be honest. I think they're given a little bit more freedom. This guy's skill level is off the charts.
Always been an exciting player to watch.
And up against Yatsuka, who, relatively proven. This is going to be a pop flash through, but he's able to escape. He's actually on top of the box. We'll still
еще надо оттолкать. Ебать, как он грамотно съебался.
In the meantime, the opposing team has started to put pressure in towards the showers. The thing is, the combo of that snake bite and the nade will hold them back a little bit longer.
Съебался нахуй чепуха на Юру.
He wanted that fight, and so did Zeppa.
Красный чел. А Скай далеко не открыли пока. А чё он боится пройти? Там пизделка с душевой была. А чё он боится пройти на Вайпер? Там чепуха хилится, убегает.
Just to get the heals back up, but the problem is the A site, in the meantime, will be focused on by Zeta. Laz with a huge opportunity. 2 players about to peek him. He's just cleared the angle. Here comes the swing. He's a little closer than they expected.
Ой, чё он так навелся плохо?
Maintain their hold on the site. Jake goes down, and so too does Curry. But Zeppa's rotated back. He's made it just in time to slow the push, to stop it, to put the spike on the floor. 9 HP, 0 in fact. A huge round from Zeppa. 3 kills already, and he's sitting healthy on 99 HP. Uran has got one hell of a task with 17 seconds left. A blast pack and take him down. Zeppa, a man of many.
Какая хаешка в такой ситуации? Отошел бы за ящик, хотя бы дал бы такую же хаешку за ящик.
4 kills, a huge performance from him, because it did start a little bit rough. The TP strat from Oxy didn't really go to plan, but just managing to things up, and I think he shoots him just before that blast pack goes off, and it allows him to finish the job. Now, there's not going to be much on offer for this round for Zeta. After winning those initial couple of rounds, again, this is another map where expectations are that the defense will get the majority of the rounds, but again, we know that Zeta in these sort of pistol purchases can be deadly, so C9 have got to be careful here.
I like Oxy's use of these decoys just to clear out some of these angles. It's a strange one going back into the wall, but that's at least the info. No one's outside of Hookah for now. Presence across the map from Zeta. You'll see this a lot on Bind with the TPs, but they haven't been able to get up on B long. Still some presence.
Спряталась хуйня, блядь.
Swinging out alongside Zeppa to grab that.
Стреляйся как мужчина, очкошник.
The pistols don't stand much of a chance in those kind of engagements. You really need the numbers advantages if you're going to make it work, the one thing they have is an isolated Zeppa. They know where he is, and they're able to take him down. The smoke's blocking off the rest of the team. The showstopper used, and it looks like they're just about avoiding the orbital strike. Unfortunately, they can't avoid Curry.
30 seconds left again. Oh, the smoke fading. Curry just taking this round into his own, a chance to maybe get himself the ace.
Ну, хотя бы ульту прямо выбили.
The super
Нормально.
sub, the stand-in who's come to join C9. It looks like a natural. I do wonder if Whippy sat there going, oh dear.
Big day in Tokyo today. The Curry Grand Prix is actually on later on today in the city, and it looks like there's a competition from Curry himself. He's looking to be the #1 rated.
30 seconds left.
Phenomenal performance from him in this round. Obviously, it was against Pistols, but that is very much where C9 have stumbled and fallen in the past.
You need someone to shut those rounds down. Well, it seems like each round a new player jumps up the board, and that's going to get him the Viper's Pit online to...
That's an annoying pit.
To shut things down into middle.
Oh, that's such an annoying pit. Look at the space it takes. Even towards hookah, or I always call it hookah, lamps. There's a safe space to sit in. Nothing they can do to deny that. And also, you can get aggressive right up in towards their spawn. Yeah, that's it. I've never called it U-Haul. It probably would be easier. I'd remember it more.
Anybody who's it, U-Haul isn't a...
Nice! Oxy!
Okay. Wanted a little bit of flair out from this Euro on the defensive side, and that has ultimately shut down any form of aggression that Zeta can have.
Нормально.
We've seen them play these rounds slow when it came to the last map on the attack, but their success has been minimal. They've been pushed a lot throughout this. Nice work from Sugar Zero, though. Oxy will be traded out eventually, but this double stack up is going to make things a lot
Ну, чекни под собой только.
Two angles to clear almost immediately. They don't expect vanity, and well, the trade's eventually there. Uran's done well to at least make this one look competitive, and he's heard them go through the TP and guess
Счастливая помойка.
back through the other one. He's got the Viper's Pit as well. Now, where he places this is going to make things more troublesome because they can look to surround him. Plant going to go down.
Чего, бля?
Not within the pit. He's just using it. Oh,
Ебать гений.
So smart.
as he looks to wrap around, he's baiting them in. They're using the showstopper on the other side. It is watched by Curry, but it doesn't even matter. That showstopper's going to achieve nothing, trying to bait him in, and
Ну,
Zappa
блядь.
loses the shot once again. This man has been
Сделал жестко.
time.
Вообще ему чуть-чуть не хватило.
We talk about these youngsters and how much, well, cognitive ability they have.
Делал жестко он.
A smart attempt from
Бля, вот если он бомбу просто под F поставил под лампы, как будто изи.
I come out with a smile on my face seeing him do this now. Oxy's play here was beautiful. You saw him in the replay. 3 pieces of utility used. As you turn from the first flash, you turn, you see him running out. No, it's a decoy.
Ну вот, сразу сел ставить и все, точно так же все сделал потом.
Then he swings. Really hard to deal with, but Uran's positional play is just off the charts. His flanks have been unreal. We saw that.
Ну да, да там тяжело, я согласен. Он так красавчик, ну жестко все сделал. Не повезло, что челы сразу как долбоеб в ульту полетели на плечо.
But that was his best opportunity because otherwise they run in, Curry probably dies, but the showstopper fires off immediately and the round is over. A wise play.
Well, Zeta, they're going to pull themselves, or try and pull themselves back with a tactical pause. We saw that in the last map have high amounts of impact. It is looking like almost a reverse story of the last map. C9 obviously winning both pistols, but struggling in the buys. Remember, it was round 8. That was the one other round that they managed to win in that first half. We'll see if Zeta can do a little bit better here. I do think that even just getting 4 or 5 rounds on this attacking side can sometimes be enough. I'm not so confident when you're up against a Yoru Raze comp though. I still expect a decent amount of attack rounds to come in from C9, them feeling confident on this map, having played it not too long ago. I'm gonna see what can actually be done here. Bear in mind, ult-wise, not really a lot to be played with for Zeta either to sort of pad the gaps a little bit. In fact, it's just going to be the Guardian and once again, some pistols and a Marshal.
Now we see a very similar setup. I guess the Nats of old. Viper wall up towards Lamps. Orb is
В телегу просто написал, соберитесь, мужики, они такие, окей.
a little harder to make that properly work. Fake teleport from Oxy as he goes back towards the spawn, but maybe he does wish he was around this A side. They might need reinforcements. 3 players here at least, and 3 very impactful ones at that. It's Seppa to take the first blood. Yoran down. Big player for the squad of Zeta. Now out of the round, but Laz steps
Nah.
in place. Quick kill, rifle on the floor. But he doesn't want to retreat, but he doesn't need to. Not when he's got this weapon in hand and an ultimate that he could pop.
Yeah, it's whether or not they believe they can take this ramp. The thing is, the push into the A site was attempted to just be a ruse. Guardian retrieved. Now we're going to get the info out from Oxy, though. This is actually huge. He's going to spot a couple of players, even going to try and just go for it from behind, baiting them out with the util, and he will take down Sugar Zero. The spike now pushing through as Oxy looks to try and do more damage.
Ебаное уебище.
One more man to deal with, and he's got the shorty if needed. Even to try and go for the knife.
Ебаное уебище на Юру, блядь.
To show that extra flair with this agent, and while Zeta, the only damage that was done was on the wrong side of the map.
Now listen, Tom, if you're going to ask me, do I prefer that Yoru setup or the
Bot,
one
bot.
inside the TP? Maybe that one. That one was pretty good. That was very
So what
good.
you're saying is the professional player for Cloud9 has a better setup than you, and you're acting
Slightly.
like that's news.
Slightly. I am impressed by what Oxy's bringing to the table. He might be marginally better than me.
Just marginally, okay.
At theory crafted. Just
Был
slightly.
смысл выкупать там за хуйню, надо было ее после первой карты выкупать.
Close game. We'd have to set up a tournament,
really?
a competition, a 1v1 perhaps. But you know, my schedule's pretty busy.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
that I
seen
can
you
make that
versus
work.
pro players before.
All right. Well,
In
let's
fact,
go.
both
Yeah,
of you
okay.
need to use
It looks like Curry's picked up the first kill, Tom. So you can stop talking about that. Yatsuka already down. Big kill with Yoran following, and Zeta on their buy round stumbling into it. C9 just picking them apart, isolating every duel. No
Бля, ну
attention
чё не
to
плывут,
trade.
вы чё ебаные?
This has been a
Ну охладите, трахните, поползайте,
all
блядь.
their credits were invested into it.
Well, we saw yesterday C9 start the day out slow, and then absolutely blitz their opponent in the second map of the day. It just happened that those were against different teams. It's looking like they might be doing the same once again. Laz has at least found one. He was incredibly clutch.
Бля, 2 в 5 будет как подарок.
Need so much more. A 2v
Еще 2 в 5 как раз. Это знак.
As they look to try and turn that tide back. The thing is though, they're surrounded. You already have Vanity in a deep enough position that he can hold them in on the backlines, but also switch back if they try and head through the TP. Also just getting in the back of their minds, and Oxy's not losing that battle. Now for Hero Ron, well, he's hoping he can find a gap.
Он видел его.
Vanity running back towards the long.
Я бы пошел в КТ и убил бы одного в КТ сначала.
Help him out at least a little bit. Means he can probably get a safe plant within the tube, but well, he's anything but safe from this point. Being spammed from every which way, and he will get absolutely nothing.
Да, что-то не плыть начинают.
From Cloud9 as they increase their advantage even further, and even round 8 couldn't save them.
I'll tell you what, Tom, what we're seeing here, as Ian Chambers would say, this is some advanced gameplay from C9. They're looking fantastic at the moment. And I think, you know, if I'm C9, I don't change anything. You just keep doing the same thing. Rely on Oxy having these nasty setups. He's the one that will be, I guess, providing that little bit of extra depth. And outside of that, it remains the same. Hold your choke points, let Zeta walk in and isolate every duel as it has been. Zeta, I want to see them group up. I want to see them move as a unit, try to obliterate them. Double flashes towards B long, a very tough situation to deal with. They're using the tour de force to try and bridge the gap on this low buy round. The operator in Vanity's hands, though, is doing all the work. And
yeah, the Sky Op. Not the most common. Or the spades could be problematic.
Ой, бля.
I don't know how he's managed to survive that. The spam through, not getting
Бля, ну лагерная, сука, 20 хп.
for Yoran, normally a maestro with the sheriff. Still though, a tour de force in Laz's hands. He was world class with the operator. Feels like a lifetime ago that we saw him play the roles.
Это клоун Юра, блядь. Смешная хуйня.
Even still, again, they've got a 2-man disadvantage just to try and get anything done. And they're running into a 3-man crossfire.
Teleport's ready.
it's the op still. Even on 20 HP, Vanity's confident to swing out wide and hold that angle. He's set up again. I don't even know who point of contact will be. I feel like at this point C9 are confident in just taking
А там с КТ, по-моему, смотрели, anyway.
close angle from Oxy. No gate crash to get out of there. They might not be checked on the way through. They've got a smoke, so Laz is able to clear it. cerebral play. It's just down to Jake on site. Tucked in the corner, grabbing Sugar Zero, leaving Laz to try and eliminate them all. 2 shots left in the tour de force, but they won't get a chance to be fired.
A nice attempt, but wasn't able to do it all. Operator going to be saved, and C9 have gone on a streak of 7 rounds in a row. For Zeta, this is now starting to really become problematic. They have not been able to find any which way.
Да мне не нравятся эти карты. Мне ебаный бинт, я ненавижу вообще эту карту. Карта говна ебаного. Как раз для ботов, клянусь. Был какой-нибудь бризик, что-нибудь такое, сплит, да что угодно. Хэвен, да реально, что угодно. Вот это бинт, такая карта мерзкая, угловатая, где, ну, типа... Тут... Что это такое, блядь?
Very little negative to say about this round for C9. Laz again having a big clutch to make happen, walking into the operator, but Vanity has not been missing. Perfect play.
Он второй раз это просто делает уже. Он второй раз это уже делает.
So quickly finding all of those kills and even abandoning the operator now. They've just dropped it out of the map. Like, Oxy is just phenomenal. This guy's a sensational player. The Yoru looks good. I was excited for it, and I've not been disappointed. Let's say it that way.
Oh yeah, sure. Like again, I feel like he has been so difficult for them.
Я ненавижу эту карту реально. Что сам я играть не люблю. Что тут постоянно не апсеты какие-то, блядь, или ну какая-то хуйня происходит.
Zeta, yeah. Other than the pistol second round, there really has been absolutely nothing. Zuka at least has that showstopper to try and put something into the round, but he's dead. The second, he didn't even get to finish the voice line.
Бля, вот как будто им надо байраунд сделать, опять пойти с Зига, накатать лампы, просто толпой. И один поздний из душевых, все. Им же дают лампы проходить. Они же вообще не играют от ламп, редко. Я вообще не видел, что челы стояли. Чего оно это не обузит, а?
No, that's it. You know, his stats might look reasonable, but at the end of the day, it hasn't been able to even come close to converting to a round win. We need so much more from the side of Zeta. Vine certainly looking good for C9 and no signs of slowing down. Round after round of successful play. Oh, that shorty won't quite work out. Laz still has to find 4 more kills. An ace to win this round. An all too familiar storyline for this player. He's gone for the TP, but he hasn't got the spike. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. And maybe even just wanting to carry the weapon forward.
Да не знаю, хуйню делают. Почему они лампы не обузят? Им даже, ну, им дают туда проходить. Почему не обузить это? Чего они в это Б уперлись, ебаные? Или в душевые?
Turned into a demon. He was good in the first map, decent maybe, but he has been phenomenal in this second. 13 and 6. Vanity himself has been up there as well. 9 and 2. Utter domination on this defensive half. There has been nothing.
Просто какая-то хуйня вообще.
From Zeta's side of things, and it seemed like they ran out of ideas a long, long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. And anything they have tried to throw together just has been met with an iron defense from the side of C9. You know, Zeta are very much getting the Fennel treatment right now. They're seeing the same side of this defensive. That Fennel did. Oh, no. 1-to-1 trades. The best Zeta have had to open things up, at least. Showstoppers online, not finding anything. Spams also falling flat. Yatsuka stepping up to the plate, but the return is there. Not with an op this time, but Vanity can still get the damage done, rifle in hand. Zeta will look elsewhere to try and recover this round, and it's Uran walking up on A. He's been so good at flanks and lurks, but not this time. Curry, wise to his tricks, has left this down to a 1v3 and even closed it himself. A beautiful anchor on the A side.
Охуенный пик.
And a near flawless half from C9, shy of losing.
А чё не убрали? Почему тот же Хэвен не взяли, на которого они хотибали?
Yeah, that's the funny thing about Curry. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. He's 11 and 4.
He's only died 4 times.
He's been fantastic, but it's just the fact that a lot of these defensive rounds.
Ба на пике никак не посмотреть. А, блядь. Ну. Бан сплит, бан сансет.
Running
Они сами брали Хэвен даже не на третью. Вы же обоссали их там, блядь. Что за баг нахуй? Зачем эту ебаную карту брать? Блин, это просто залупа, а не карта. Взяли бы лучше Лотос даже.
In that C9 defense. Now going on to the attack side, that's it. Like, I expect the attack side to be harder, but when you're running this Yoru raise, you have two very prominent players who can take that entry, and also just the fact that Zeta have looked a little bit flat on their own map choice. I don't see a road back into this one for Zeta.
No, I very much agree with that. You know, we talked about Laz being one of the original Yorus on this map and knowing kind of what Oxy might want to throw out there, but there's a difference between understanding how you play a Yoru, understanding how Oxy might want to use that util and actually reacting to it like that.
Просто странно, они в BO1 готовы играть Heaven, я не пойму, в чем логика. Вот BO1, они готовы играть Heaven, значит, самая уверенная карта у них, одна из самых прям. А тут в BO3 Heaven вообще нету в пуле, они его сами убирают. В чем логика, нахуй? В Best of 1 с челами, в Best of 1 вы играете, ну, Heaven. В BO3 его нет.
And it's actually a fake out and he's somewhere else and he's just completely bamboozled.
And the other thing is if you dump utility, so Yoru flash decoy, and you just start bombarding it back, he's going to TP back to the site and just go, okay, now how are you going to push the site?
Да.
Exactly.
It's really, really nice.
Причем так, ну, магическим образом во всех играх камбэк от них. Магическим.
Have a godlike performance. Even comparing what they did on the previous map, like this would have to be the best showing they've had so far. I think we're going to Lotus. We'll have a hell of a close game there. I have to hope that they built on what they learned because, you know, playing against Fnatic will teach you a lot. But they only got 5 rounds there, and I guess that means a lot of opportunities to patch up the holes.
Yeah. Hopefully for their sake they don't lose this many in a row, Laz. It's just not the start they were looking for. If they were going to have any response, Sugar Zero could at least get one, but even still the advantage sits strongly with C9. Nade through. Vanity's going to take some damage, but he has the heals to help out at least the other members of his team. Can't help himself, unfortunately. That Boombot is going to clear the position. Nice work from Yatsuka to at least get one. I don't know if there's much more to be had. A nice attempt, and now it's all left onto Uran. It seems like they know exactly where he is. And this decimation continues. We mentioned the fact that yesterday Zeta lost 11 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
They have again lost 11 rounds in a row.
Yeah, this is, well, you know, the funny thing is that was their second map yesterday. It's their second map here today. Might even compound. It could get worse. In fact, Tom, it should get worse because now it's the pistol that they've lost is the 11th.
They have to force. There's no point trying to take this from 12-2. We've seen miracles in the past, but that would have to be the best of them.
Just Taylor, we're back on the server, and look at the buy. Look at the difference. A forced buy from Zetas, a few pistols, a Marshall. Now that can be dangerous. Sheriff Marshall, Headhunter as well. But it's rifles across the board for C9, and scarily, it's Zeppa, Judge in hand, probably going to be following on that dog. The Tiger leading the way, the Judge following, and well, Jury and Executioner most certainly. Zeppa going to catch the one down below. Yes, he is. His second kill up close. The weaker weapon on the side of C9, doing a lot of the work, leaving just one. Yatsuka, we mentioned the Marshall. Well, there's only one player, well, 2 players, in fact, that will be vulnerable to the body shot, but another 2 who he's got to hit heads. A tough 1v4, to say the least.
There.
Trying to clear out some of these positions, but Curry ready and waiting. 12 rounds in a row for C9. You're not going to see something like that too often. And now just needing one more, and as we've already mentioned, that was a force buy. So the buy is not going to improve much. The Yatsuka, it's looking like another bleak scenario coming into the team. And we will also probably talk about it in the break, but previously when they played over on Lotus, he was in the team. I wonder if they keep that.
I think they swap back.
Just because Kaeda has definitely been one to make more of a mark thus far. It's just whether the comp is more important than the player playing it.
C9 look to close it out here, and again, Zeta have a lot of weaknesses to work with. There's the jump for Uran. He's caught in the spams afterwards. Flash in, Hero Ron is caught by it. I thought he'd avoided it. They sent it right into the back of the site. Looks like C9 just cannot make a mistake. Even wall banging Hero Ron as we swapped over to see a butchery on the A site. 4 versus 2. Laz is a headhunter and a shorty. Sugar Zero on a bulldog. the hopes and dreams of this Zeta squad to find a 2-0. Not looking to be realized here today. Big play needed from Laz. They jumped the angle. Good shot. Oxy down. Vandal to be recovered. He's going to get it. Now maybe an opportunity with this rifle in his hand, but no, they're too quick to chasing down. The confidence of C9, Tom, is on full display. And now Zeta only have one man left. With the B side, look, C9 don't even know where they want to take this. The dealer's choice.
Yeah, it really is just a run all the way across the map. Sugar Zero at least guessing right in the end, but you have to think 1 versus 3. He has had a quiet game. So he's going to manage that first. Puts it into a 1 versus 2, maybe garner them a 3rd round and not have it be a 13-round streak for C9. But even still, he's got so many angles left to clear, so many positions that they can be in, and Curry is going to swing off the back of the flash. 13 rounds in a row from C9. A pistol, and the follow-up is all they lost in this entire map. After losing their own choice, I think they've shown that playing them on Bind, not a good idea.
Let me tell you, Vanity, he might be top of the scoreboard when it comes to kills. His op play on Sky looked fantastic, but his flashes in these last couple rounds especially were phenomenal. I don't know how he was consistently hitting players. Even that last one, it's like he could see his screen. Like he knew exactly when he was going to peek the corner. And this is a much better face from C9. In fact, replicating their performance in map 2 yesterday up against Fennel. They 13-2'd them. Now they face another Japanese squad, 13-2 map 2. But this time, they've got to do it on a 3rd as well, and that could be a different story.
Respectful, wonderful Japanese fans continue their applause for both teams here, but after losing their pick, Cloud9 clapped back in this quarterfinal, taking Zeta to a 3rd and final map. C9 looking to put some NA in the semi-finals, Tom.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's nice to see the series go the distance. It's maybe just the manner in which it's gone the distance, which isn't quite as enjoyable if you're sat within this arena right now. I will say the crowd wasn't silenced because, of course, the Japanese fans, wonderful in their way of cheering for their opposing side, but oh my, that must be a rough one to reset for the side of Zeta.
All right, well, we're going to take a reset here and now, but when we come back, our first quarterfinal here live in Tokyo, Japan at the Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena will conclude. Who's going to take it? We'll find out when we come back. back in what has to be one of the most memorable and unique venues in esports history. The majestic, magnificent sumo wrestling arena that is the Ryogoku Kokugikan Arena here in Tokyo, Japan. Now, we've got our English broadcast team here on, depending where you're sitting, the left-hand side of the arena, which is myself, Tom, and Mitch for now. But what's super cool is, as you can see on the screen, we've got an entire Japanese broadcast team running at the exact same time. This is one of the most, like I said before, most unique, mind-blowing experiences of my life. I can literally see those guys doing what they do best over there. They can see our casters trying to be as good as them and failing.
Poor them. I pity them.
Well, you're not as good as their host, even
That's
though they
true.
don't seem to have one.
Oh, yeah. but isn't it cool? Because obviously we've got a live Japanese crowd here, so they're hearing the Japanese broadcast on the speakers. This is getting
Lucky
broadcast
them.
as well. Yes, lucky them. That would be a horrible experience if they had to listen to us three. But there's a lot going on here, and you can see them there, Tom. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it's nice. It's not that surprising to have the
No,
Japanese.
But it's cool running two separate broadcasts at the exact same time. Running to the same timings, all talking about the exact same stuff, hitting bricks at the same time.
Never been
There's a lot
done
to think
before.
about.
You don't know what they're talking about. I think they're definitely not talking about some of the stuff we are.
No, absolutely not.
I think they're a lot more professional, I'll be honest.
Well, none of them turned up in their pajamas, so that's at least
true.
something.
That's true.
They're definitely better dressed, that's for sure. Now, have you joined us at a time where we are into our first quarter-final of Red Bull Homeground 2023? It is Cloud9 versus Zeta. Of course, a lot of the fans here are wanting Zeta to win. On the second map, it didn't necessarily go their way. Cloud9 cooking on gas. It was reminiscent of the team we saw up against Fennel yesterday, Tom.
Yeah, they got spanked. I think is what you're trying to say in a slightly nicer way than I put it. They won the pistol second round, but you can just end it there. That's the end of the highlight reel for the Zeta Division side, unfortunately, especially going into their map choice. I think the destructive nature of this C9 side was really difficult to play against. I think the fact that, again, we saw layers to what Cloud9 were bringing in with, like, really passive holds, and then seconds later, these explosive defensive pushes. Zeta didn't have anything to deal with it, and I'm a little bit worried for them now, because it was a similar case when we saw them go on to Lotus, as we did yesterday versus Fnatic. They started strong and then just disappeared.
Yeah, I think you very much hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer there, Tom. It's disruptive play from C9. You come in with ideas, but then you play up against this composition and up against Oxy, handling and manhandling the map the way that he was. Yeah. It's a very different ball game to try and run your strategies when every time you set up for one, he comes blitzing around the corners with 19 flashes, decoys, and hits two of your players in the head. You've got no smokes, and
if you kill him,
apart.
Then Corio Zeppa just get a 4K
or Vanity's got an op. You're like, hey, we killed Oxy. Let's go entry this up. Bang, one down. Vanity's repositioned. Now he's got backup. It was really nice. Seeing these guys play was tasty. Almost as tasty as this.
Let's shine he loves his Red Bull. Let's shine a spotlight on Vanity right now, because he really did show his brilliance on that map there. Mitch is really good friends with him. I know that you're communicating with him a lot here.
Really good friends?
Yeah, he said that to me.
I was a great friend. I'm good friends with Vanity.
Does he know who you are?
You just said.
Hey, whoa.
He said you're best friends.
We're best buddies. We go for lunch. We hold hands in the park. You know, I love Vanity.
You've been replaced.
You're
now the new Mystic.
But what a performance
Whoa.
from him, right?
Yeah, no, an unbelievable performance. I think he shows us the amount of depth he has. You know, usually when we communicate, it's about Odin play, someone else Odin play. But for him,
Mitch DMs. There's no reply.
There's no reply. Yeah, it just says.
Hey, best friend.
It's in the request. He'll see it someday. But the reality is, you know, here he was showing us so much more. Not just his off play, not just his individual play. Yes, he was top of the scoreboard in kills, but add to that, his flashes were absolutely out of this world. I really enjoyed watching him play. Really enjoyed watching C9 on this map come out swinging in a map that they very much needed to do just that, replicating their second map yesterday up against the Japanese squad. But now it is Lotus. And look, Zeta. Realistically, last time we saw them, they didn't do too well. 13-5 up against Fnatic yesterday. The reality is, though, when you play Fnatic, just in general, I mean, there's a reason that everyone wants to scrim this squad. They will show you all of the holes in your gameplay. They will teach you so much about what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the break that we've had between yesterday and today, they've gone back to Lotus. And the fact that they left it through instead of Haven, which was a close game, with the Thrifties and so on, it does inspire me that they have taken a lot of notes out of that Fnatic game and hopefully patched up a lot of the holes that they had in their gameplay.
Well, you're filling Zeta fans with hope right now, but I mean, the reality is they just lost 13 rounds on the bounce.
Yeah.
It's a tough position to be in. For them, it's an unknown best-of-3 environment off the back of what was a really brutal loss. Home support will definitely go a long way here, but Zeta fans for sure, Tom, and the team alone, of course, have a long way to go here.
We are nervous for them. They get to win a map with Yatsuka in the team. I'm not going to say that it's in any way his fault. They've just had rough performances in those games.
On blast.
But the fact is, Hayato definitely has had more impact. I don't think there's anybody who can question that. Very good at taking that space. And if you look at the sort of composition they're running, they are really going to need him to perform to a very high level in this match. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. So I am nervous for them. And honestly, I think Cloud9 are firmly back in the driver's seat.
Cloud9 are not going to be underestimating Zeta here either, are they, Mitch? Because, you know, they're coming off a blip-free bind and are going to be feeling super good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the momentum is in their court. Vanity's back in the controller, playing the Viper as well. Maybe he will steal the love I had for Mystic back in the day. Still have. And, yeah, but realistically, Oxy, that's who my eyes have got to be on. He's just played so unbelievably well, but that was with disruptive utility. That was with crazy rotations around the map on his gate crash. Now he's going to do it on the Raze, but we know damn well he's capable of doing that. A chance, though, for Yatsuka to step up to the plate and take him on in more conventional duels, maybe find his footing in this series.
If I had a live mic to the crowd right now, they wouldn't understand it.
I was going to say.
Great.
But I would get them hyped up and I'd get them popping off for Zeta right now, because I think that's what Zeta needs.
Okay, I don't really know how you expect. That's not really a question. You've said a statement to me, Ian, and then you went, I'm going to do this, Tom.
Yep.
Cool.
And I want you to agree with me. That's what.
Go on, man.
Cool,
I'll get you a mic.
Thanks.
All right, we're going into this, the third and final map of the quarterfinal. Luckily for you two, this is where my mic dips out. But last second predictions, go. Tom.
We got to go Zeta win.
Zeta win.
Hashtag Zeta win.
Hashtag Zeta win. Let's get into this. Who's taking it? Tom, Mitch, take us home in this quarterfinal.
Well, it looks... Someone's going to be going out of the tournament here and now. It feels sad to say goodbye.
Ой, бля, они еще за КТ.
We got to move on. We got to get this gameplay advancing. It's all about the advanced gameplay. That's all Ian wants to see. Well, let's see who has it up for offer. Zeta having to retake B. We saw a very clean entry from C9. Smokes down, blast pack in, and plant. Now the timer is starting to tick away. And it's only a matter of time before C9 try to take extra space. They're all trapped inside of the site. And eventually they want to punch back out, and that's exactly how they do it. Fighting up towards heaven, and now the flank maybe going to play a role. They smoked off the turret. They've made it past, and maybe in a position where Zeppa wouldn't expect them. Never mind. Galaxy Brain Zeppa's already got this one calculated. He didn't know about Yatsuka, though. Too many players on the other side.
Быстрее, да не?
C9
Просто повалялся немного.
Minds of their opponents early. It's been now 14 in a row since we've really seen anything from that side, but ultimately we want to see if there's a response. Now, at least in this position, you're not really going to expect too much. You got yourselves.
Бля, ну хуёво, что они за КТ начали. Да я вообще не понял пик бинда, блять, вонючего. Нахуя, если вы их на хэвне обоссали? Зачем, блять, ну типа? Почему ебаный бинт? Это вообще такая карта спорная. Очень фишечная карта.
There's certainly no mistake starting out this round with a nice, clean opening. 2 on the board already. Pistols.
Я ничего не доставлял.
In Zeta, as we said, in that first day, in that first matchup, first map against C9 yesterday. But now, well, it looks like C9 have learned their lesson. And that's the thing, you know, we talked a lot about Zeta having played this map and having learned, but C9 have also had a bunch of maps now under their belt. They start to warm up. They start to learn the synergies and the gaps in their gameplay. Start to plug those up. Nice flash in, clear space. I like the spam from Oxy as well, just guaranteeing no one's pushing the door. They know the tree is pretty much open. They, again, decide to just move as a unit. The only little risk is Curry opening that door. Like, he's got a Vandal. There was a pistol close. He's going tree solo. It wouldn't be great for them to recover that, but luckily, there will be no punish.
Also aware of the potential flank. I say that. Lads has actually passed the angle that Vanity is holding. But the thing is, he's got a classic.
Ну, футболисты их точно попустят.
The chances of him winning this.
Или кто на кого не выходит, стойте. А эта пара на кого выходит? На футбиков или на Фнатик? Они, они по-моему, на Фнатик выходят. На футбиков? Ну тогда по футболисту попустят 2-0. Если даже Клуда выиграет, футболист попустит. 100% попустят.
Zeta's absence from the scoreboard now reaches 15 rounds. I want to see them get this next round and get it clean, because although it might not be necessarily weighing on their minds directly, the further this goes, the scarier this entire series gets. As said, there's no lower bracket in this tournament. That's not how it works. You lose this game, you are out.
You out. And the other thing is, you know, it's 15 rounds in a row for C9, right? They're just carrying on that momentum at this point. Another pistol under their belt. I remember seeing Vanity a long time ago play with little ears. They might have been meant to be cats. They could very well be bunny ears on top of him this time around. So he's looking energized. The B side up for grabs. But there's a lot of players defending it this time around. A different stance from Zeta with the rifles, and a good opening from Laz with 2 kills. Still, though, C9 will be happy to trade out in a round like this. Man disadvantage, sure. Damage is the name of the game. Jake on the rifle, Zeppa with a bulldog.
Пока все норм. Чё они за кто играют? За слабую сторону.
Even footing duels. And it looks like we're going to have a little sneaky play through from Jake while the spike moves to the other side of the map. A fake from the Vandal. Wouldn't really be expected on the side of Zeta. If they spot him and they spot the Vandal.
They saw the pixel of his Vandal. As
they
he
did?
Went, yeah, 100%. Like, Uran, I don't believe he put that snake bite down just on coincidence.
Yeah.
He saw just enough information that there was a player there.
Rotate.
He's even rotated in support. Hero is, well, I say ready. He's gone down immediately.
Oh, no.
Response will be there. Jake's not going to get anything else. And that's actually pulled the spike back. Yeah. He did so well that now, with 30 seconds left, C9 have got to try and reposition once again. Vanity is on a lurk in towards this B side, but there's not one, but actually a second player in as well towards the broken door. So with information there, this ends as a pretty nasty crossfire. Great flash, but it's only going to count one.
Yeah, if Sugar Zero was blind, that really could have.
Бля, я next матч, наверное, не буду смотреть, ребят, я не досижу. Меня уже очень сильно рубит. Тяжело, пиздец. Потому что я вчера стримил сколько? 17 часов, блядь? И сегодня уже сколько? 10, блядь. Тяжело очень, пиздец.
Well, it would be impressive if Zeta could answer back with a similar performance.
13 rounds in a row.
Да не, я не досижу.
Here now, 32.
Not biased.
I would cheer for that. Sorry, Vanity.
Please respond to my DM. Oh, wow. The pace from Oxy. And he's gone.
Just like that.
Oh, and so Zephyr as well. This is a bit of a slaughter. Jake at least stems the bleeding. Sort of. The spike is still down, but he's actually going to use the from the shadows. He's managed to garner over the last couple of rounds to get it. They weren't actually fighting anymore, but better safe than sorry. A good early start in this round from Zeta. Laz actually left onto just a pistol, so they still have.
Бля, Лаз бы ган взять.
They are leaving this A site somewhat open. Even just maybe, I think they expect that C9 are a lot further forward than they actually are.
Yeah, they definitely do. A super, super passive play, and even the player on B watching over towards the spawn for the push-in on A stairs. Now, the turret has been has spotted a player, rather, and been destroyed. They have to shift focus, but they're still leaving B. And it's very common to leave B quite open like that. It's a tough site to actually...
Как будто он уже давно за ганом мог сбегать.
You want to pick them off on the way through, or when they overextend afterwards, very close to losing another. But Hero Ron fails to grab that frag. And Curry will stay alive late into the round. It's Jake with the Vandal taking over control. 3 kills already. There's a 4th. Ace around the corner, but Sugar Zero denies it. Takes another, and it's only Curry, the man who very nearly got dropped a second ago. He's given away his position. A smoke goes down. Sugar Zero, 50 HP. He needs the headshot. It has to be over to beside the smoke.
Блять, какой ты отец, нахуй. Аригато, блять. Какой батек.
I don't know how that slipped away. I genuinely don't know how it slipped away. It was so impressive from Jake in this round. Just...
Ну вот тут смотрите, он мог остаться в девятке. Побежал, бля, побежал. Но он убил, конечно, еще одного. На хайлайт уже побежал работать. Чел на хайлайт побежал уже. Добегал с дура. Бля, ну они должны воспрять после такого раунда. Калайсон? Знак вопроса, блядь. Ты меня спрашиваешь, блядь? Вроде это типа приветствие.
but a couple more not too far away. And bear in mind that a lot of the orbs on this map, in fact all of them, favor that attack side. They've already managed to collect a couple.
Some healthy growth from the defensive side as we see them start to.
Бля, почему люди сразу в ретейк встают?
2 rounds, tying it up. This is where they push it across the line, take the lead, and put C9 on the back foot economically, if they can. Still, it's a similar position for both teams, though, and Eco to follow.
Ай, мог двоих вообще забрить.
Forced into a fight by the nade. Their rotation is even coming through, having found that kill. Connector was open, A site's taken.
А как там КД развернулась?
Backside kills across the board. Sugar Zero again trying to hold strong, but he's going to need to ace
Как
this
там
round.
Coolj развернулась так?
Now it's time to one up himself if he's going to get it across the line.
Can he get through the gap in the door? He has. It's Vanity opening it.
Ладно, пока все нормально идет.
It's not going to be happening. C9 after their economy.
Атака, это фул атаки карты.
Back once again. Take their lead, and the problem now is Zeta, bear in mind, they survived with 1 player in the last round, so their finances are completely in the bin. They've got to play this one as a light. Now, the one thing they have is that if they do manage to get a couple of kills, Nightfall's close, Lockdown's close, Showstopper's close. So there's potential still in this round, but then the same is on the other side. The exact same ultimates are very close to being online. And they still have the buy with the rifles in it.
Yes, so that's the big difference here. I mean, for Zeta, it's much more likely to have that big impact. That's why they're calling a tactical timeout here and now, discussing how they want to approach this round, even down to the basics of if you get a showstopper online, do we commit it? When do we commit it? Where do we want to go? Where's the best chance for these pistols to thrive? Or do you even want to use it as an info-finding mission? This C9 side has... I mean, they've shown a little bit of depth so far, but definitely favored towards the B site. But as soon as they grab a pick, they're happy to shift their attention. Just look at what they did. Picking off Laz immediately, the trigger is
Ой, это кто написал?
B take. It's rerouting, moving through to A, grabbing the plant there, using their from the shadows to clear out the site. The potential for them to
Сейчас каждая вторая девочка будет.
here and replicate the streak of rounds from the previous map is.
А без приколов есть девочки вот таких? Ну что, снимаешь, а там прикол.
It's still one that's quite difficult to come back from the pause. As I said, I feel like the Zeta pauses have been very impactful. Get ready for the next game. They've got to learn, you know, that's what it is. Something like that. But in this sort of round, well, you'd have to say that the coach is performing miracles, almost like a Pronax.
Бля, и сразу эко.
Some people will get. Many won't. I'm old.
I actually don't get that.
Is the Fnatic in another FPS game. Pronax would take a pause, say absolutely nothing, but because Fnatic took a pause, they'd still win the rounds. it was straight BS. He even said it. He was like, sometimes don't even say anything. I just know we're going to win because the other team put so much pressure on themselves.
You've told me about that before, actually, yeah. It slipped my mind.
It was a very sort of like consistent thing. That the second they took a pause, they would win, no matter what. Now Zeta will be hoping they can recreate that here.
They've given it away. Wall went up, wall went straight back down. After the forward came into play, Zeta know that this is going to be a play towards
Еще одного, братан, надо было.
Ну
ладно, скайки нет, отхилить не могут. Ганы.
Slip away very quickly for the side of C9, and pistols have long been the problem, but now those pistols have recovered rifles, and they're here to fight strong. Lockdown in play for Laz, forcing them further back. And it's a very tough decision. Do you fight forward and try to break it? No, well they do, but Laz is quick to the trigger, taking down Oxy, and look who's waiting on the other side. It's Hero Ron.
Бля, просто такой раунд проебали. Одна вайпер была на АЦ. Как же они на яйцах дверь открыли? Бля, это пиздец, какой важный раунд. Какая важная курица. О, бля, пожалуйста, возьмите, я хочу спать довольно потер. С улыбкой просто везде, блядь. С девочками.
They have got 6 staff that are listed in the back lines. Obviously, one of them is Carlisle. They have got, a head coach, a coach, an assistant coach, and 3 analysts.
3 analysts.
Carlisle, Crow, Junior, Nokaze 37, Sieg, and Gaia 9. They've got a lot of people in the backlines, but behind them, for anybody wondering, of the 6 is Junior. They also then have 7 players.
I was going to say,
so
on the main roster as well, you've got a
they can play against themselves and have 3 subs.
They get the analysts in to play. Get a full 10v10 with some coaches.
Yeah, but I guess Junior is the pause god. That's all I'm going to say.
He's done well.
Making a name for himself.
Well, now, as well, Tom, those ultimates you mentioned before are online. Showstopper's going to be used. Oxy popping his, but so too! It's Yetsuka grabbing the kill, following up onto Vanity, but the numbers remain even for now. Zeppa quick to bite back. Another kill from Uran, though, equalizes yet again. That was the low HP player of Jake falling.
Разъебать. А он что-то кукдаун поставил? Так разъебать с девятки его просто. Ну, блядь. Пиздец он его поставил.
It's right back in their hands. I was actually surprised they even swing off that. Maybe just looking for a bit of a surprise factor themselves. Like to... Yeah. Because you could just break that lockdown from the spot they're in. As Laz showed a few seconds ago, he's like, I can just shoot this. But I guess they thought that maybe someone would swing or peek a different angle. This was definitely an interesting fight. That might be the highest I've seen someone go in a long time from a showstopper. But for C9, well, the ults are well invested. And again, the purchase isn't bad from Zeta. Even though they're going to save a little bit of extra cash for the next round, they still have themselves a few rifles to play with. And they're going to go very aggressively, pushing up. Again, the orbs started to be collected. Viper's Pit on either side. Although I will say a Viper's Pit for the attack when Nightfall's in play, bit risky. Kind of gives the game away and leaves you low in your own pit, but we'll see if they've got any plans. For now, it is just orb management.
А чё не заценить, что нету?
A lot of teams are very conscious about when it comes to this attack side, and I don't even know how Laz has just killed him there.
That was through a smoke, just...
It's through a smoke and through a wall.
Yeah.
He's cheating.
Checking PC. Yatsuka.
Oh, that's missed.
Oh my god.
That hasn't.
That couldn't have been more perfect. You couldn't have planned it if you're Zeta. And they're out of there for
Beauty, блядь, красавчики.
5
They definitely didn't plan it. No. Like, I'm going to miss my paranoia and then you're going to shoot him in the face.
He's going to look at me and then you swing it. If they did plan it, then get them a god. Just give them the trophy. At this point, hero run down.
Ну, блядь, ну что ты подставляешься? Ну 5 в 3. Ну что вы делаете?
They've cleared out Laz, the man that caused them issues, well, throughout the series so far. And just look at the weaponry. Okay, there's one to be retrieved by Uran. Maybe a little bit nervous that someone's around the corner, so takes his time, but the turret gives the game away. And they're clearing angles over on the C9 side, taking that position towards the door. There's a couple of players here. They're not going to get either of them, but Yetsuka, surely he won't check. He won't expect that second one to be there. Uran's actually
Реально, угол нахуй чекать.
Already, he doesn't have himself. The shield's low on HP. This is going horrifically. And getting back in there is just going to be impossible. To try and survive any sort of bullet spam is going to be difficult. And Curry has to do it with the classic, but
Что они делают, я не понял.
real danger with how much he did with the nano swarms alone.
Yeah, that was it. The nanos were absolutely huge. And that's a Viper's Pit used up for an attempted 1v2.
Ты что он FD сделал, блядь? Просто зафигел, как сука.
Appears to have an operator.
И вот тут тоже просто...
That's maintained as the timer ticks down.
The attack side Viper operator.
You know, he was critical of Boaster's Omen Odin on attack. the Viper op. I don't know. I'd love to get like Eccles' opinion on this. Like, why isn't Jake got it? It's paranoia. Good space taken. Yetsuka. Oh, it's unfortunate, but there's also a crunch. They push B. Laz already got 2, but down to 24. It's an op on the other side. Vanity's been consistent with it on the sky.
Раунд дозматч, блядь.
Looking to hold strong. Ah, look, there's no way through now. Those snake fighters.
Блядь, что за кашель какой-то? Не понимаю, и горло
This push when you know that everybody is now peeking in on the angle. Before there was at least the disruption of the aggressive push through C main, but that disruption is now gone. They can fall back. And both sides have traded this one fairly evenly. Maybe a slight bit more damage for the Zeta players. The problem, though, is obviously that Cloud9 can grow.
Кулдай подавился.
That was a nice fake. Wall up, wall down right away.
Буду знать, блядь, что это такое было. А это я подавился, оказывается.
But then the turret spots.
По реке играют? Да, блядь, по реке нахуй. Ну по центру карты, ну что ты делаешь?
Knowing that was their best chance to take it across the line. And now Hero Run has to clutch it out. The first not even going to be offered up. Jake very quick on the trigger. And 6 rounds now found for Cloud9. They are pushing up in this series. The advanced gameplay certainly being shown off by the attackers.
Yeah, stabilizing after a couple of shaky rounds. The pistols doing the work again for Zeta, and then a back and forth that ends with their economy in the dirt once more. C9 have looked very, very good in terms of their overall structure.
Почему он не может идти по стенке, смотреть лево? А чел ему заберет право? Почему он бегает как долбоёб? Что, блядь? А чел бегает просто влево-право как долбоёб?
5 rounds, I think a 5-2 position on their defensive side that Zeta managed. And they really struggled on their attack. Wow, Yatsuka, he's definitely got confidence. He's got spirit. But he's down very early in this round. Laz, though, still doing damage. And Sugar Zero, see, this is a spot that you expect to be cleared. I'd be very surprised if Sugar Zero is allowed to get away with this one.
The problem is, as they go to clear it, there's going to be 2 players holding, so they have to wait for their Viper Wall to be back online. Vanity will throw that up. They'll look to cross over, and that's where they can find some rewards. Snakebite landing perfectly on Sugar Zero. It's an easy kill for Vanity. Very well cleared. The trades will come through from Laz. Just the one for now. That might be all they need, honestly. And Curry, look, he was low. That was a big advantage, but the heal comes through from Zeppa, bringing him back up to healthy, fighting.
Ну беги в план. Ну, блядь, ну угадайте, ну вы стоите хуёво. Ну у вас пистолеты, блядь, ну угадайте. Люди не понимают, блядь, что надо рисковать. Локдаун, блядь. Чё, нахуя он его там поставил? У него алармик на Б сработал. Он... Чего, блядь? Чё он делает? Нахуя им все ульту дают?
And now a serious opportunity. Vanity inside the Viper's pit. A rifle recovered. Laz looking for an ace with 2 teammates to close it out. Even if he falls, Vanity being sprayed on, and it's Hero Run to hit the shot.
Ну просто я понял, ладно. Фейда еще ладно. А зачем Killjoy там поставил локдаун? Чтобы они не стянулись или что?
Again, it's genuinely just hard to believe how he manages to do it. 4 kills. Okay, the Nightfall helped him know where they are, but I'm pretty sure he still insta-headshot both players, so it's not like they make much of a difference. He would have killed them both anyway. Basically, 5 Sheriff headshots won them the round. It's absurd, the individual skill that this Zeta team has. It's just they need to build off it. We've had a couple of these now, and they're still down in rounds. If they can get the response, get up to 6 rounds, they're going to be happy with this half, even though, again, it looks like C9 are the ones leading this game.
Big play coming in from Zeta. Looks like an aggressive stance, but they're a little bit late on it. Sugar Zero popping over, but Jake's already there. Able to take a free kill, and now force a lot of this control.
Чел до того, как выстрелил, уже убегает.
Isolated Hero Run. You can see him in tree all alone. As Oxy puts down his bot, he got taken.
Okay.
Another for Hero Run. He's still being pressured, but it's 1 by 1. Now they group up. No, they
А чё они по одному убегают? Тупые, блядь. Не, спасибо, конечно, а зачем они по одному так бегут на него? Просто по одному человеку бегут. Чё голда делают? Тоже тупые, блядь. Просто по одному каждый чел на него забегал. Почему нельзя вместе его пикнуть? Не, я наоборот рад. Просто это смотрится хуёво, пиздец, как будто люди в бездаре. Смотрите. Ну тут ладно, он его менял. И дальше сразу по одному.
And in fact, he only actually goes down because of the player towards tree. If not, I believe he probably would have just taken everybody with him.
That's the thing, like, Oxy's okay. He's putting a boombot down, he gets swung. You know, shit happens, man. Like, that's okay.
Тем временем уже 5 раундов заката. Хорошо.
Continue in that fast. Just over-eager, overconfident, and, well, they got punished for it.
Well, they've got back to their 5 rounds as they did versus Fnatic, although a very different story. They weren't in the lead as they were then and let it slip. Pressure looking to be put on. Curry's going to be left on a pistol, but I'll be honest, he's no slouch. He's been very good with that gun throughout the couple of days we've had so far. Again, they still wait outside. They're going to use the lockdown, but this is a ruse. Not a single player going in that direction. Rotations heavy initially, but now some doubt is started to be put into the minds of those players. They've not seen anything over towards A. Hero though, for a second, he had
Поняли, что фейк, поняли.
Now though, they're on full sprint back because Cloud9 have actually taken a while to really get into position. He goes through the snake bite.
That was not a good idea.
What?
Oh, okay, bypassing the showstopper, but in fact, Yatsuka can't land his shot either. It's a messy round.
Почему хотя бы одного на не ставить? Бля, вот зачем они все убегают? Вот это так, блядь. Бля, ну дайте я вас просто потренирую 2 дня, блядь. Хотя бы такие ошибки не будете детские делать. Типа люди ставят локдаун, какой смысл тебе бежать тогда так быстро, если все равно пока локдаун не закончится, не будешь ретейкать, блядь? Почему одному глубоко на не остаться? Это просто ошибка новичка, блядь, когда самый последний час мута убегает.
A lot of the sort of success they had around from Hero but Laz was just on fire. The clutch as well from Sugar Zero, like it has more been blips than anything. C9 have
Может попали мы там смог.
Again looked like the better team in the majority of rounds. But this pistol could be everything. If this is taken over the line by Zeta, they again get that boost to their start. It really is game on, but if C9 take it, then they might just get too far out of reach. And as we know, the loser of this map is out. Done. We won't see Zeta anymore on this stage or Cloud9. One of them has a short trip home, the other slightly longer.
Ну да.
Oh my god, they've got their own chant leader down there. You see him on your screen getting the crowd hyped up. Wish I knew what they were saying, but it sounds good. That's all I need to know.
Зонер, бля, на боковой нахуй.
Pony Zeta could hear them, those inspiring words as they cheer on.
Он свою смену отпахал, блядь. Пивко всосал и на боковую.
They didn't like that.
We're talking about the Japanese casters and their swab. TV on the cam. Get him on the mic. Who's let Ian in here instead?
Ой, блядь.
I don't know. I feel like you'd have to be.
Очком чесать. Там, знаешь, такое очко, что ты руку сунешь и, блядь, пропадешь там нахуй.
I also don't know. I wouldn't want to put a headset on that hair. I don't want to mess it up.
True.
He refuses headsets, I've heard. He had a custom-made headset. Our producer's telling us kind of a custom-made headset, and that does not surprise me in the least. I can only imagine attempting to put a headset on that man's head.
Somewhere in the world, Lothar is happy because he heard the word custom.
Custom, yeah. Every player should have. Yeah, I do agree with him. To be fair, every player should have custom in-ears. They're not that expensive for a team.
Ну все, спалились, давить, давить, давить.
International live events on stage.
No one cares. Running around.
No one cares. All right, wide open A side. We got a second.
Here we go. As I said, this is important for Zeta. They could get out of reach if C9 managed to take this one over the line. Yatsuka.
Вайбер, блин, в соло сражается.
He's gonna find that opener and a long wraparound coming back in.
А он не ждет, да? Бля, вообще тупые, блядь. Да, реально, это новый метод. Дай смог на турельку, блядь. Вообще тупые, ну заберите спину один, блядь. Тупые дети шлюх, блядь. Что это такое, блядь?
Very nicely done, and this all comes down to the smoke that we saw put through from Jake. He smokes off the turret and spawn.
Ебаный киллджойка, вот ей нахуй надо было набыть. Надо было идти своим турель поставить в лобби и все, и сидеть, блядь. По факту юзал люрк получился. Что турель сама про него знали. Тогда, ну про него знали, он турель сломал, да. Поэтому это просто юзал с люрк был. Лучше пошел своим кильтами, блядь, и не продал спину им.
Oh, they absolutely do. I don't expect C9 to throw too many crazy plays out there. This is going to be tight gameplay to close
Пистолет
the
надо
map,
было
putting
забирать.
life on the line. Spot in the semifinals up against Foot Esports. If they're to have a chance there, I want to see them close this out.
That's the thing, it's the tough day. Playing that first match, you got a best of 3 to prepare for.
Ну, через избегаем под это все.
They're watching. You best believe they're watching. The fewer
Ну и вот,
rounds you
хилит,
show them, the
поебать.
better.
Hey, C9 managed to do that in map number 2, but other than that, quite a lot shown. Now Zeta are going to get a plant. Extra credits. Again, nobody watching the flank, but luckily for them this time, nobody's coming from the flank. They're going right in front. And Oxy looks to farm up as many orbs as possible. He technically does get another one. But a plant and a minute amount of damage is all Zeta can achieve here. Now, we wait to see if they have a response.
You know what the best part about these signs is, man? I never even thought about it, but the fact that you custom make these signs, they're incredible, and then you're probably going to get the players to sign them.
Чё за чекули
That's
такие?
a piece of memorabilia. It's gonna
Я не
last.
понимаю, показать им, как я дрифтую, или чё? Плюс чат, если показать им, как я
I
дрифтую.
imagine it will last them forever. I imagine if I did something like that, I would lose it.
There's no
Or
way
it would
home.
go in my suitcase and then.
А чё они так стесняются? Чё они так закрываются?
I'm gonna be copying
Ебать,
that
какие
type of
милашки.
sign there and, making them
I've seen your
friends up.
signs before, but normally it has 2 different players who are playing against each
I don't.
other.
I'm
And
not,
you
I'm
do
not
it.
sure
Стесняются,
that
типа.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound accurate. I put a lot of effort into my signs, Tom. I take offense to that. Took hours to make.
Let's agree to
But,
disagree.
you know, well, through all my hard work, I suppose.
You put as much effort as I do into my outfits.
Жахнул бы, жахнул.
Well, Crusade up. They've got a lot of players to fight off against here. Very nice paranoia to begin. Yatsuka onto Oxy. Sugar Zero following up. Jake's gone up top. A brave play and one that doesn't see a reward this time around. The one-to-one trade still leaves them light on the site. Curry has to do big work. He'll do well to find a first, but Sugar Zero dropping down from the top rope. He'll take the kill. This is a very nice round, fighting back for Zeta. They don't want to lose any more players, and luckily, the man who has to retake not only has a book, he also has a sheriff. Now that I see a sheriff in Vanity's hand, I do get a little bit more worried for the Zeta economy.
Why do I reckon that he'll get the kill with the Bucky?
Yeah,
I think he'll kill Sugar Zero with a Bucky. That's my call for this round.
Okay, we're rolling the dice. Let us know in chat, do you agree? Bucky kill, yay or nay? Is he going to play it with the sheriff? I think so.
No. If he went with the Bucky, he would have gone there.
Absolutely, Tom. I couldn't agree more.
We'll
he
never
should have
know.
taken the
Never
Bucky
know.
wide, swung it out in the open, planned for the right click.
Exactly.
But he didn't. What a noob.
Yeah. It's like he's never even used a shotgun before.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I think that was his first time buying it.
That was a good
Don't watch
start.
the previous
This
round.
is more of what I wanted to see from Yatsuka. As I said, like coming in as that raise, he is the only duelist they have on that side, and a lot of it you're going to be relying on him and Hero Run to sort of take space for the team. It's going to be a lot more difficult with that double controller setup to really get into position. So the fact that he's starting off strong with an opening kill like that is a good sign. Vanity, well, brought the Odin into this round to do a little bit of spam damage and has almost died immediately.
The lucky thing is, once he goes behind that wall, they can't really fire back too easily. So, good opportunity for him. They've tapped the spike, the orb, excuse me. They know exactly who they're up against and exactly what this guy likes to do. Zep is on the way to pop a heal for him. And even just to rotate in general, they're hearing a lot of noise around this area. The dog will go through. The tiger roaring his way down. Through the wall, he spotted a bunch of players. Time to heal up Vanity and get ready for the fight that is to come, and it most certainly is to come. They're going to clear out nobody inside tree. Once Vanity's healed up, I reckon he's going back in there with the Odin in hand, now that he knows it's open. But the door has just been opened, the timing kind of poor. Because he's 100 HP, he's confident to hold the angle. Now he's reclaimed his safe haven.
45 seconds left. Zeta have been somewhat waiting, maybe to see if Laz can find something on that lurk. Vanity is going to get forced back, but now it seems to be that split towards the B site. Curry not one to take this fight. The nade actually is going to force him off the angle. Vanity,
Ой, бля.
in the meantime, has managed to find one. Zuka actually pushing forward. He wants to try and even things up, but Curry was more than aware.
Блядь, ну хуя это делать?
Just two standing. Laz and
Ты чё, мудак?
prettiest of kills, but he gets the job down. However, that is all. C9 take that one convincingly to get themselves up to the 10th round, and Again,
Да, чел там такого руля дал.
on the ropes.
Yeah, really wise play by Vanity. I think that whole round he did well not to overcommit to any of the angles on A. This team.
Он мог вообще первого чела не убивать.
Eventually they decide to go back to B. He's got the
Безграмотный
rotation with
лох.
his teammates. They double set up. The fact that Curry's able to hold strong despite being low HP, despite the
Костюм
name
Харварда
his
стоит.
feet as well, that you have to command.
Вот он нахуя, он пошел.
Perfectly to allow Vanity to rotate in and give him that support.
Да, он мог просто пропустить. Какая им пизда была бы.
Wallbang! And it wasn't the kill, but it was the damage that allowed it to be so easy afterwards. 10-6. And C9 in prime position to close this one out, to send Zeta, our final Japanese representative, home. Won't be a long trip home, at least. The jet lag won't get them.
No,
might even come along tomorrow to spectate. It is their home ground, quite literally. And the crazy thing about it, Tom, would be, as we go into Zeta's tactical pause, that if they go out, the first 3 teams out of this event will all be the Japanese ones.
You are technically correct. I don't like the framing of it. Well.
I don't really care if you like it or not.
Что до X2 0 выебут.
It's true, but I don't have to like.
I know Ian would like it. He was telling me a lot of facts earlier. The fact machine.
Interesting facts, I would say.
Of course.
Some might even question the validity of those facts.
I would, to be honest. Having come from his mouth, I question everything that was said.
This is a good idea. It's a good idea. You don't believe the Ian conspiracies, you know? You hear about the legend of Deeks, and then you really have to start questioning reality. And while Cloud9 are probably questioning right now, what is Zeta about to do? It's another tactical pause. It's a junior tactical pause. One, as said, that have mass success. He looks calm, collected. No sweat on his brow.
No smiles either, though, Tom. The vibes on Zeta need to be brought back up, perhaps from what we saw before, but maybe they're just concentrated, zoned in, locked in. Final count was given to the coaches, matter of seconds before barriers go up. Zeta, they're not putting it all on the line here.
Ну ладно, на Вайбер 5 врагов, чел, вообще поплыл. Юран ебаный.
For the most part, yeah, C9 come in with a huge advantage. This time it's Oxy to go up top, but the challenge will not be towards A, rubble, or anywhere around this area. Instead, a lot of presence being focused on towards the C site. We just had the showstopper picked up by Yatsuka.
Как он на руля присел, это вообще пиздец.
A couple of those already throughout this game.
Other sides of the map, thankfully, for now.
We'll see. Vanity also now switching up to that C site, playing the rotation. Normally you will play retake as well in this sort of setup, but he's got some killjoy utility as well, so it's a really powerful combination between the damage he can output, between the vulnerability that can be applied. There's a snake bite over. Oxy knows that it's coming, and that's why he pops his showstopper. But finding them will be a big challenge, especially on range. Rocket doesn't usually land. That's a good prediction. It's close. A little deeper, and Uran might have lost his life. There's the showstopper on the other side, and actually the same result. A little bit more damage with Vanity forced to flee. The C site is now Zeta's. He'll get healed back up again. It's exactly the same as the prior round. He's going to last that little bit longer. Ult's not really online. Laz is not far away. And in fact, they're actually putting it up to Uran. The aggression just doesn't pay off. Sugar Zero at least getting one, but they are being slaughtered as they try and push forward. Curry with a triple. No hero this time for the side of Zeta to drag them through another pistol round. It seems like that Zeta magic. 11-6 now. Cloud9 looking to book their spot in the semi-final setup. An EMEA versus NA battle. Something that, well, has been enjoyed for many a time. Split the fans, of course.
Naturally. I mean, I think I know who I'm favoring after what Foot were able to do to 100 Thieves.
It wouldn't have mattered what Foot had done, you would be favoring them. Like, let's be honest. You have
accusations, Tom.
You have been bought and bribed.
Baseless accusations from you. I am insulted. My integrity has been called into question, and I don't take that lightly, Tom. You'll be hearing from my representatives.
That's
my agent will be in touch.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is also my agent. So good.
That is true. He may. I don't know. I don't know whose side he's going to take, Tom, but I am keen to find out. And I actually don't think it will be mine. But,
really, though.
But you know what? That's a story for another day.
Here we go. 11-6. This has to be the response from Zeta, and it hasn't looked like there's been one coming for a while. The push up like C9 as they get more confident, the double swing, the timing of it sublime, and Uran, there is nothing he can really do. He just has to fall off. And this is going to force them in towards that C site. Aggression as well, coming up behind them on B. There is so much information for the side of C9. They're going to fall off the back of this, and you can see Vanity. He's playing in the corner they know he's going to be in, but he's going to sit here with the Odin, and Laz will take him out. Yuran's position, though, who's going to check this? Honestly, who checks this? Not Curry, that's for sure. Oxy, though, still keeps things going. A nice response with the second shot, and now we're even again.
Yatsuka just tanked the nade. He swung out into it trying to punish Oxy. Now he's low as well. As they go to plant this, both stuck in the corner. Drop down from Laz. He's very low, and he's hightailing it out, but it's being watched by Jake. 4 kills for Oxy.
Что происходит, блядь?
Safe space for Laz. He has to fight.
Вообще ебаный.
For Oxy. Top rated for a reason, leading by ACS. And leading the charge is C9.
Даже говорить ничего не хочу, вот завтра посмотрю
Point. 6 chances to close this out and knock out our final Japanese representative.
After the first map, there was definitely hope for Zeta, but as we've seen as of yesterday, C9 sometimes start a little bit slow. Jake's had a fantastic map. Oxy looking to take his crown at the top of the leaderboard. And that was a round that looked very good for Zeta. Started strong. Now they're going to try and fight tooth and nail for this A control. It's an instant trade. Yatsuka 1-for-1. Util being thrown in from either side. And a quick run back. There is nobody currently on this C site. But Curry's Util could slow them down a little bit.
Ну забей, они кого-то резко разучились играть.
Have ults available if they want to try and use it. And there goes that Util. It gives so much time. Look at the
бегите по молику, вам уже
coming out of
похуй.
their defensive side. There was no one on site, but they now have players left on the cross.
Oh man, look at the damage done. Yuran and Laz are so low. Even the Viper's Pit might not be able to save them, and it won't be. It won't be pulled into play because Curry's taking Yuran down. The low HP makes the wallbang so much easier. Showstopper used. Great shot from Oxy, and it's Hero Ron to do it all. 8 HP on Curry, and quite a lot on Oxy. But he's at least got the spike, a chance if he can manage to get this down in a post fight, if he can pick one of them off along the way. And where he decides to take it could decide it all. A turret sat on B, waiting to grab the information, and the second he peeks it, these players will be grouping up, looking to use the numbers to their advantage. They now know roughly where he is, but 25 seconds, Tom. He's deciding to rotate, moving back to the C site. The clock is going to cut it extremely close, and with Curry still close by, it's a matter of seconds before he hears the steps. There it is, the info. Now caught by Curry. 12 seconds, the swing is in, the shot landed! A chance for Hero Run, a slim opportunity. It's the top-rated player of the tournament so far on the other side. It's Oxy. He knows that he's not towards the spawn. Waterfall is the suspected position, but it'll all come down to timing. Oxy, patient on the way through. He's been here before. He's won these clutches, even against greater odds. But Hero Run, he wants to stop him in his tracks, buy a chance for Zeta to cling on to tournament life. He's got the timing, and he'll keep them alive.
Might just be the most important Red Bull clutch of the tournament so far. Hero Ron in a spot that looked unwinnable, managing to isolate the jewels, getting into the afterplant, and again, for an 18-year-old player on the stage in Tokyo, facing elimination, the first couple of days he's played with this team and officials, he's given them life. They are on their last legs.
The vibes are back up. Big smile on Hero Ron's face. It's what I like to see. It starts here. The Snakebite nade combo has been dangerous outside of A. We've seen it a couple of times come through from C9. Last round most notably, grabbing the trade and eliminating Yatsuka within a matter of seconds of the round starting. Although Yatsuka did get the opening kill, so it was trade back. Zeta, they want to avoid that, but they've muscled the control out of C9's hands as they look to get aggressive around B. Now as they fall back, space has been left wide open.
Просто, знаете, как ты о чем-то задумываешься, вот так закрываешь глаза, тебе уже сон снится.
A little bit quicker. Bear in mind, Hero Run is the one with the spike. Seekers are going to spot him out, and that's Euron gone already. Another fall to the hands of C9 as they quickly come back from a singular round of defeat. Laz needs this kill and he won't find it. Sugar Zero is surrounded.
Я их ты ебал, траханые боты, блядь. Ну, все равно лучше, чем американский регион, но, блядь. Футболисты просто сотрут это недоразумение с лица земли. Клянусь. Просто на футбиков 2-0. Все. На победу, на футбик общий, на 2-0. Все, я пойду спать, ребят. Спасибо, что смотрели. Пойду отдыхать. Всех обнял, всех люблю. Заходите вечером, блядь. Я с таким режимом скоро ёбнусь, блядь. Вы лучшие, давайте. Не пошло, блядь.